What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another episode of Deepish. Really excited for you to hear this one. This one was a long time coming conversation. Got to sit down with my friend Josh Gamble. Josh and I met when he was an instructor at Barry's boot camp here in Nashville, gym that I go to, and he was one of the first people that heard about the concept of greenhouse and Deepish and everything that it was going to become. And so we got to sit down about a month ago probably now and talk about, as we got to know each other better, we learned that our upbringings were super similar and kind of came from similar Christian background upbringings and bonded over that and what our experiences were like in that world. And he also went to a Christian university. And so it just was a fun conversation for us to sit down and talk about his fitness journey as his career and where he is now and how he ended up in Nashville. And our worlds were super intertwined even before we knew it. But really enjoyed getting to sit and talk with him. We talked afterwards, and I feel like this way with most episodes, we were like, we could have talked for another couple hours. And so there probably could be another couple hour episode with Josh coming in the future. But for now, you get this one. So without any further ado, this is my conversation with my friend, Josh Gamble. So, all right, you were.
Are we officially starting?
We're in now. So you were honestly, I think, one of the first people, if I remember correctly, that I talked to about coming. I don't.
Okay. Because I remember the idea.
Yeah, this was like. God, when? So we would have met spring of 24. Does that sound right? I think so. Because I think
here's the weird thing is like I feel like we're a lot closer.
Yeah.
And not that we are. I feel like we've known each other longer than we have.
Yeah. No, agreed. Yeah. So I think it was 2024 because not long after I started going to Barry's, and Deepish was a concept at the time.
Yes.
Like the goal of it was very different still. And it was going to be more probably Christian world podcasts and whatnot. And we started talking one day because I think I commented on your lion tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
I think was kind of how, and so like that was kind of the origin of, because up in this point, like I'd seen you, I had no idea who you were really. I mean, even though you taught at Barry's, like I hadn't taken one of your classes.
Well, you know why? Because you came later in the mornings.
Yeah, you were always early mornings, and
yeah.
I was always like at that time I was like 8:35, 9:45. Yep. We happened to be in a class together. I don't remember what class it was. It was one of Tommy's, I think, or Cam's, one of the two. I love those two. They're still my boys.
I love
both.
Cammie. Wow, Cammie.
Cammie is a great couple name.
Cammie is a great couple name if Tom and
Cam were together.
Cammie, I can't figure that out. Yeah, so Tommy I've known.
You've known him for
like
12
years.
Yeah, since you
started.
When he started. Both of you had been with Barry's for a long time.
Yeah, he's been there, I think 11, 12 years.
Yeah.
And then back when I had a podcast,
mm-hmm.
He was still in San Francisco and he hopped on it.
Oh, for real?
And
dang.
And so like it was.
I love Tommy.
And it was during COVID because I remember like in San Francisco, like they couldn't really do stuff. They were really shut down.
Yeah.
And so
I think that's when he did, because there's like a digital Barry's class on the app or something that like he taught or something.
Yeah, there was like Barry's X or something like that.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah, I've seen people do it. But so we were in the lobby of Barry's in Nashville at the time. And that was like, we kind of started chatting, and that's when and we just I don't remember how we got into it, but we got into like in like a 5-minute time span into our upbringing. Mm-hmm. And like realized that like you're, I think, right at 10 years older than me, or close to. You're 10 or 11 years older than me.
Let's go 10. So
I think you're 10 years older than me. Yeah. So like but we lived like almost an identical life in upbringing. And to the point where we both went to Christian university schools. You went to Oral Roberts, if I remember correctly. Yeah, which, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were there when Jerry Lorenzo was there, right?
Yes. I was there. So yeah.
Around
that time. And then like I also like used to kick it with a little bit with Ryan Tedder from One Republic. Like he was there at the same time.
I'm sorry, what?
Me and Ryan and a group of us stole golf carts from security a couple times.
God, so you knew Ted, dude. I did not know that Tedder went there, first of all, and I also did not know that you all were friends. Yeah, do you ever talk to him?
No, not anymore. I mean, it was so long ago.
And he's
20 years ago, but yeah, he is, because I think he was a sophomore, I was a freshman.
Okay.
And I remember like we all hung out. a lot, like, 'cause or you couldn't have there wasn't fraternities, but each
Yeah, 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 yeah.
floor had its, like, fraternity
Yep,
type
right.
title,
That
and
makes
so
sense.
some floors were, more athletic, and so we did intramurals was, like, the thing because
Mhm,
there wasn't football.
There was only,
Um,
like, a baseball program at
there's
times,
baseball,
right?
there's basketball.
Yep.
Um, basketball is usually decent. Baseball was always good at the time, and I can't
Yeah.
the coach was Sonny something, I believe, and he went to OU afterwards, but,
'Kay.
um, yeah, like, we would just, just
Dude,
hang out.
Tedder's a freak of
It
nature
he
talent.
he did, there was one summer, and I don't know, he was interning or something, and I'm gonna be a little off on this, but he interned or something in,
Yeah.
I wanna say LA or New York,
Mhm,
got on a show, and
mhm,
I think, like, it was, like a new like, imagine, like, American Idol for American Idol. So,
mhm.
it's like, I remember Brian McKnight, Pink, and someone else were, like, the
No
judges, and
way.
I think
God, Brian McKnight.
Carson Daly, someone hosted it, and it was
Wow,
just like
okay.
he did the song called "The Look"
Mhm,
acoustic, and it was his own song, and it is one of the coolest songs ever, and it, like and there was no internet, there was no like,
mhm.
this he got so big over
Was
the
this
summer.
mid-90s, late 90s?
This would have been probably
Early
early
2000s.
2000,
Okay, yeah,
99 or
yeah.
2000,
Okay. So
'cause
this yeah, so internet legit, like,
yeah,
was
what
not a thing.
not a
Not
there's no social
not
media,
yeah,
there's
yeah, not to
nothing.
this I mean, because MySpace didn't come out to what, '06,
Yeah,
give or take? So, yeah, I mean, you're
so
literally seeing this stuff in a newspaper or on TV,
yep, and
or hearing it on radio, which
he
how wild is
well,
that thought?
but you wouldn't even have heard that on radio at the time, right? So
Nope.
it's like you were just watching cable in the dorm,
Yep.
and
If you were lucky.
I think it would've been my freshman year, so summer of probably his sophomore year is when that happened, but
Okay.
go back to, like, our freshman year, I was, like, doing finals, and we're,
Mhm.
studying, everything's kinda dead, and, like, where our dorm was,
Mhm.
they had, there's security, and they had the golf carts, and they were plugged in, and I won't say that I knew someone who had a key that worked for the university, and we got a key, and we were unplugged them, we stole them. We got
Dude,
chased by security around campus.
that's
Um, at
incredible.
one point, they had their whatever Crown Victoria cop car that were
Yep.
chasing us around. So we had, like,
Dude,
a walkie-talkies we were, like, trying to
oh
run
my
around in, like, it
gosh. Well,
was
so what's funny though is like the things you would do at like Christian, like, cause I graduated from Liberty is where my degree's from. I did it online because like I was a youth pastor at a church. It was paid for. So like that's how I finished my degree. But I started at a Christian university in North Carolina that a bunch of my family's gone to. And so like the things you would do
Mhm.
that, like, were not a big deal, but it's like like, taking the security golf cart at a Christian university seems like a massive deal,
And you know
but
when
it's
we did
not,
it?
you know?
We did it right around, like, 11:30 right before curfew because we had curfew
We did too.
there.
I think our curfew at the school I went to was either 10 or 11, especially
Yeah.
for because I only went for 1 semester on campus
Okay.
my freshman year, and our curfew was earlier.
Okay.
So, like, our RA was one of my best friends at the time, and I was not a great influence on him. Like, so he grew up in a very conservative, strict family. His dad was a professor at the university. If my buddy ever listens, I don't know if he listens to this podcast or not. He
Not
will
yet.
deny this. Yeah, but you know what? I'm not gonna mention names for
Okay.
anyone's sake, other than my brother-in-law was involved too. So my
Okay.
brother-in-law, he and my sister were not married at the time. They were not engaged yet. They were just dating. They had just started dating. So we're friends. We're on the same floor. I think our rooms were like across from each other, if I remember. And the school had gotten so small, most of the guys had their own room. So like I'm a freshman
Mhm.
and have my own room,
Well,
which was
unheard of.
sick.
Yeah.
But it's like again, it's like a small Christian school in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So like my RA and I, we became good friends. He'd been dating this girl for a while. Like we talked to him into breaking up. Or like it was, dude, we were not a great influence on it. This sweet Christian boy. Um, and so to the point where he gets this like little mischievous little like streak running through him.
Okay.
So I'm not staying on campus one Friday night. I
Mhm.
think I was staying in my aunt and uncle's house who lived in the same city. And so I would stay with them and hang out with my younger cousins and be around them for the weekend or whatever. So I come back on like Saturday afternoon and in the we like it was not like a high end, like big, like fancy university at all. Like we had like a small coffee shop and student bookstore.
Mhm.
When I say small, I mean, dude, it's as big as this room we're in, basically. That like connected to the gym, and I worked all the time, and I went to class. Like I didn't hang out with anybody other than my RA and a couple other friends who didn't live on campus.
Yeah.
And so I get back, and my buddy who's the RA and my brother-in-law, they had this big idea to steal the Bear Rug. So like we were the Bruins.
Okay.
was our mascot. So
Yep.
we had a bear rug that hung up in the like this spirit store
How
coffee
how
shop.
elevated was this bear rug?
Oh, dude, it's not just on the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, like I mean, easy to get.
Okay.
So I don't remember who was working in the coffee shop, but like one of them was the decoy that like distracted,
Yep.
and the other one was the culprit that went in and stole it. And I don't remember who was working. I don't remember any details.
Uh,
All I know is we get back, or like I come back to campus and they had stolen it. I don't remember where it was. It was like maybe in one of their cars or something. So they sent an email out and they're like, we and again, like there's like 250 students on campus, if that. It's like a small high school, legit. So they send this email out and they're like, we know the bear rug was stolen. And if we do not want to have to press charges, they like send this super threatening email
yeah.
to everybody. It's this whole thing. And I don't remember if they had security cameras or not, and they knew who did it or what. But
They're probably the grainy security cameras back
yeah.
then, right?
So this was this was fall of 2012. So for
Oh,
sure,
okay.
like it was not high tech yet,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
especially not at this school. So I don't remember if it was like before it was returned or what happened. But I come to find out I got accused of doing it. Like someone told me, like, Jake, we know you stole the bear rug. I'm like, I wasn't on damn campus. Like, I was so innocent of all the things that happened while I was there.
Yeah.
I did nothing wrong. And like I somehow got accused of it. And I just was, I don't remember. I think some girl that I was into was the one who told me that truthfully. And she's like, I know you stole it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I wasn't even here. They ended up taking it back, didn't get in trouble or anything. They just was like, but
So it's funny about like like you said, the girl accused you of it, which right like so
yeah,
certain RAs, it's so funny. Now like there's definitely RAs who are like the little CIA or
100.
Roberts.
You no, the
They
100.
were
You had certain
in
RAs that were super strict.
they were like I remember like we'd come into like we had to wear shirt and ties, right?
Yep, right.
You could wear hats, but you couldn't wear hats in the buildings.
Okay.
And so sometimes you'd come in and they'd be like, "Hey man, how are you?
Mhm.
Jake, right? Hey Josh, nice to meet you, man. Hey, by the way, can you take that off? I'm
Oh,
gonna have to write you up." Like
okay,
they want to be your friend, but all they're trying to do is snitch on you. That's all they're doing.
dude. Okay, speaking of that, I don't know why I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this earlier today, actually, or yesterday. So when I was on staff at a church in West Virginia, it's like spring of 15. Tori and I were married, so it was right around Easter.
Okay.
We were part of a group of churches that like we were in a town called Milton, West Virginia. We were church plant. We were 2 years old at the time, I think, and we would do like community events together. So like we
Mhm.
would work together with like the Methodist Church and the other Baptist churches. We were the Southern Baptist Church. We were working with other Baptist churches and all this stuff. And we would do community outreach like once a quarter or something
Yeah.
like that. So we decided to do this big Easter, like it was weekend before Easter. We were doing a big Easter outreach, like, and our church's worship team was playing for a youth service while there was another service going on. Whatever. Our church was the modern, cool, young people church at the time. I mean, like, I was 20. I hadn't turned 21 yet. I was 20,
How old were you when you got married?
20.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was 20. Our lead pastor was 26 or 27.
Okay.
Our executive pastor was 23,
Okay.
24. Our worship pastor was 25, 26. Like, we're all like young.
Young, yeah, yeah.
Our lead pastor at the time would preach in a flat bill hat all the time. So it's like, that was just like, it was normal life for us. Like
Yeah.
this, and also think about this 2015. So this
Mhm.
was like the big, like, era movement of like edgy churches,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Trying to
Like,
reach out to like
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah,
to
yeah.
be you're trying to be traditional. Yeah.
100%.
I
And so,
did
like, that was us.
we did there was a church called Guts
Okay.
Church in Tulsa,
Yep.
and that's where a lot of us went. And
Mhm.
they were kind of doing like, and it was like the pastor was gonna like maybe teach them like a t-shirt. And
Yep.
I remember that
That
like
was a big deal back
it
then,
was
dude.
big. He actually and it was like a skit, but back then he didn't realize like skits were kind of like set up. But like he had someone set up in the front row, and he went
Mhm.
up and he's like, "Oh, we're not doing that in my church." And he cuts their tie like with
Yeah.
scissors, and it's like you come
Yep.
casually, be who you are,
Yep.
but you're in a kind of a college town.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
so
in the
that's a
Bible
big
Belt. It's
deal.
Tulsa,
Yeah.
but it's like
But that's just like the things that people did that in that time frame
yeah,
were different. So at this service, we're at there was a church that was the time was booming, bro. This younger pastor had come in there and they were very traditional. Like he would preach in suits, but he was like very charismatic Baptist.
okay,
Like not from a belief standpoint, but just from personality. So, and I knew him from like, cause he had gone to the church I grew up at. So I'd known him for a long time. Our executive pastor also known him for a long time. So we're there at this service, at this Easter like youth rally service. we're only there because our worship teams is leading worship. So like we'd gone to help
Okay.
set up equipment and whatnot. So I'm sitting in the back row. I'm wearing a flat bill hat from Elevation Church at the time. And the pastor of the church's dad came in. And it was like me, one of my best friends, Steven, was with us. He's now actually on staff for that church.
Shout out Steven.
Shout out Steven. Dude, we've known each other for my whole life. I mean, I'm 32 and we've been friends my whole life. Wonderful human. Big cigar guy. He's a huge cigar guy.
You know, like I'm one of those guys, like, not to interrupt you, like with
No, you're good.
cigars, it's like, don't waste a good cigar on me. Like
I respect that.
I like it, but it's like, just,
Yeah, you're not an aficionado.
you know,
Steven is an
yeah,
aficionado.
way back in the day, it was like more like Swisher Sweets Black and Mild thing, but like not.
I've got friends. I've got a friend that loves a wood tip.
Yeah.
Loves
I
a
bet.
wood tip. I probably have some in this house somewhere just because of him. He like will leave them here. But so Steven's
go.
beside me. Our executive pastor Ryan's beside me, and then I think I don't know, maybe our lead pastor was with me too. So we're sitting on this pew, and I'll keep in mind like I'm I'm a very different version of myself now than I was then. Then I was like arrogant and like like now I'm not as arrogant, I hope.
No,
But I'm like
I wouldn't
I'm
say
very
that.
like I'm much more confident than I am. So like and I'm much more authentic than I was
Mhm.
then. Then I was like I was more of a hothead and like I'll fly off the handle at you because I can, not
Yeah.
and so dude, I was 20. Like think about every 20-year-old. I just happened to be a 20-year-old who was married and on staff at a church. So
Yeah.
it's like, but I was still 20. So this dude walks in. I said, and I knew his name. I said, "How you doing?" He goes verbatim, "I'd be a lot better if you boys would take your hats off and respect the house of God." And I turned and looked at him, and our lead pastor just looks at me and goes, "Mm-mm, mm-mm." And my buddy Ryan was beside me. He's like, "Don't. It's not worth it." And I almost, bro. I'm like, there's a lot of other details that I'm like, for the sake of this podcast is public, I will not say publicly that I'll tell you later. But like, dude, it's all that says like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, dog, it's 2015.
Yeah.
Like, do we really still think that like wearing a hat to church is that big of a deal?
Yeah.
And like, there was a generation of people who, it's like they would not wear a hat in this house.
As soon as you walk in the house, hat comes off.
Yep.
Yep.
When I worked at Belmead, it was like that.
Yeah.
We were not
yeah.
allowed to wear hats inside.
Oh, for sure. Belmead, yeah, that's old school. It's
Which like that to me, like I respected because it was it was not like a belief thing.
yeah.
It was just like a old school tradition.
I think
if
that's
that
where
makes sense.
things
you
have
know?
kind of like changed. They get a little lax because, like, yeah, some of the churches like I grew up in, like, there was a lot of shirt and ties, suits for sure.
Dude, I wore a shirt and tie until I was in high school to church, and
Yeah.
probably a suit every Sunday morning.
We went to more like a charismatic church,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
my stepdad's mom was like Church of Christ, and so like,
Okay.
but it was like nice khakis, polo shirt, whatever that would have been like when you're like 7
Yeah.
years old. But
Back then it was Old Navy a thing then?
maybe for you, not for me.
Kmart.
Yeah,
Was it Kmart? Were you Kmart?
we didn't have Kmart. We weren't cool. We had Walmart and we had a place used to be called Ventures.
I've heard of a lot of things. I've never heard of Ventures. That sounds like a bird that I don't want to see.
You know who probably knows about it? Your mom and dad.
I bet they do.
Yeah, Ventures was like, and then actually I think Kmart bought Ventures and then
Yeah,
took
yeah,
over.
yeah,
But it was
Dude, Kmart used to be so sick.
that's where we get like our polo shirts from and our khakis.
Dude.
Or JCPenney from the catalog.
But bro, you remember JCPenney's Christmas catalogs?
Yes.
God,
They were
I
the
would,
best.
dude. I've talked about that with so many people. Right at Christmas, Roman was like, he was sitting beside me, and like a reel came up on either Instagram or a TikTok came up or something. It was like nostalgic, like somewhat, especially around Christmas. So much my algorithm, we've sent so many of them to each other. Is like vintage Christmas,
Yeah.
and it's like, and some of it's AI and some of it's legit, but it's like pictures of malls and Toys R Us and all that stuff. And Roman saw it one time, and he was like, "This was this most recent Christmas." He's like, "Dad, Christmas in the '90s was so awesome," and I'm like,
Son, you have no idea.
you have no idea. Which, like, I've been accused of actually not growing up in the 90s. People have accused me after listening to this podcast of the fact that I didn't grow up in the 90s because I was born in 94 and that I grew up in the 2000s. And I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
Was I a teenager in the 90s? No. But 6 years of my life was in the 90s.
Yeah.
And those are formidable 6 years. Like, I remember them. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I grew up. So, like, was I an older kid and teenager in the 2000s? For sure. Last time I checked, I was alive in the 90s. So I grew up in the 90s. But that's
There
it.
you go. Well, I get that because like I
You were a
remember more the
teenager in the
90s.
90s. Yeah,
Because I grew up like in the 80s. Like I
Yep.
was born in
Mhm.
81. So like,
Mhm.
but you don't remember all you remember some movies and stuff, but you don't remember like the clothes as much.
Yeah.
And like because in the 90s, it's like, all right, this is when like it
Yep.
mattered more. Like it was
100
more of a
that's
thing.
yeah, and that's fair, like, and that's the thing, it's like, I don't know that like, do you know this is such a niche thing. I grew up in the era of Disney Channel when it was massive. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. I see that.
2000s. This is I don't know why I'm talking about this, but I'm going to anyways, because this has
It's your
not
podcast.
this
Do
is
whatever you want.
ads, and I function that way far too often. It's a bad thing. But so, I though recently, somebody one of my close friends in town sent me we're like he's like late 30s, so he like kinda
Mhm.
in between you and I, and he sent me this thing about like top 5 Disney Channel original movies, which come to find
Okay.
out, this did not start until and I rated Disney Channel original movies on this podcast one time. I gave my top 3. I don't remember what I said because it
Yeah.
probably would be different today.
That's
But
fair.
Disney Channel original movies started, I think, in '97. However, Disney Channel movies were going on because like all this is like the reason I say that I know that is because he sent this and it had like 8 random movies on there that I don't even think were the best 5
Mhm.
of the original like year because I think they started in '96 or 7.
Okay.
So I started researching this. I was like, when like what? Because if you get on the Disney Plus app,
Yeah.
it's got all these old school original movies on there. Going back to like Xenon, all these movies in '97.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, all those are on Disney
Okay.
Plus,
Yeah. Of
and we've watched all of them with Roman.
course.
Because Tori and I like grew up watching these movies. But there's a bunch of movies not on there. Like there was a movie that came out in like 98 or 99 called My Date with the President's Daughter that had
Is Amanda Bynes?
no, it was I can't remember the girl that was in it, but Eric Matthews, what's
Yeah.
his name in real life? Whatever his name in real life. He was in it.
Okay.
But so that's not on Disney Plus. So come to find out, that was part of the Wild or Wonderful World of Disney
Yeah.
ownership, and that was a Saturday night movie on ABC. And I dude,
Wow.
I got in such a dark hole with this. So all that to say is like Disney Channel original movies was
Yeah.
a term that was coined in like 97-ish, 98, somewhere in there, but like had been going on for decades before that.
Mhm.
And I was like, "What?"
So
That blew my mind.
so like you're the same age as my younger brothers, and my
Yeah.
youngest brothers are twins, and
Yeah.
you just have to babysit them.
Yep.
And so it's like, anything I can do to get them to stop crying, whining.
100%. Yep. Dude, I'm a dad. I
99%
still
of it
kind of
was,
function that way. Anything I can
here's
like
your tablet,
dude,
lock it up. But
sometimes, dude, sometimes.
but
Just you
their
need to breathe.
go-to was, and I hated this little thing growing up. I'm trying not to cuss. The purple dinosaur Barney.
Oh, my younger sister was
Man,
so deep in
I
Barney.
hate it. It was
Oh, yeah.
Barney was like the only thing they would shut up with. That's
Yep.
the only
Dude,
thing.
I was big. I was not a big Barney guy that I remember my younger sister was.
Look how great you are now.
Praise the Lord. Just the goodness of God is
It
how I avoided
If
that.
you ever watch it, it's like how
I
it's the
love you.
cheesiest. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have you can.
I
It's
can, but
like
I don't
Baby
need
Shark.
to.
It's gonna be stuck in
Dude,
your
it's
head
stuck in my head
all
now.
night.
Oh, it's stuck. And I guarantee
Oh.
you, so my sister had Barney bed sheets for her bed for a long time.
I believe it.
And my parents, I would bet you still have them. I think we had like Barney movies somewhere. Her best
Mhm.
friend as a kid. What was not Barney, the other dinosaur? I
Oh,
don't
the
know.
yellow one?
No, the third one. It was like spiky backed.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking
man,
about?
I wanna say it was like BJ or something like that.
I think you're right.
I think
I
it
think his
was.
name was
I
BJ.
can't remember the little yellow.
God, you
'cause
can't name something in a kid's show BJ, but I
you
digress.
can't, but you know
Holy
what? Turns
crap.
out well, you also
Boy.
couldn't put a penis on the Little Mermaid
On the Little Mermaid, and there's
VHS, but
but
there it
there's one.
is. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so
Also, did you ever see the priest during Little Mermaid whenever Ursula's getting married to Prince Eric, and he's the one that's doing the vows?
Yeah.
He's definitely got a little semi thing going.
no way.
Super quick. You can't miss it. You gotta look at the old ones. Yeah.
Dude, isn't
100%.
that funny though? This is so niche. But how like also I don't know why I just did that. I just
Going on.
yeah, I was like,
That's
what was
yeah,
that?
what's up?
But isn't it funny how like Disney there's so many things that were in the original movies. Like in case in point, in the original Santa Claus movie.
Mhm.
If you have the VHS,
Where you call the sex hotline.
yeah, where he
Yeah.
goes 1-800-SPANK me.
Yeah. And people were actually calling it.
And some kid called it, and that's why Disney pulled it
Had to
out.
cut it out.
It
yeah.
is, but there's a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
that's like were in the original movie that like haven't aged well. And sometimes like there's certain things I understand the upset like people being upset about that like we understand things better now.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
yeah,
like
yeah.
shouldn't exist. Like,
And
certain
also,
cultural
when
race
they
things,
put
all
those
that
things
stuff.
in, it was more like a, "Ha ha, look what I did." Who
Mhm.
expected it 30 years later, you
Yeah.
can actually go back and analyze
Well,
all that stuff.
so in that same breath, did you ever listen there was a podcast a couple years ago, and I don't wanna get too much into like, we've talked about a lot of, like, religion, world, upbringing stuff, and I don't wanna get too deep into that
Mhm.
world. But there's a podcast a couple years ago called The Rise and Fall of Mars Hill,
Mhm.
which was around, Mark Driscoll
Mhm.
and all of that. And it was really this whole podcast, like, pointing out all of the flaws of how he led and all this stuff.
Okay.
And I understood it. The one thing that's like and this is the reason I bring this up has nothing to do with him or the podcast necessarily is but it's like a cultural thing we do that I struggle with at times, is we always want to correct the past in view of how of a now.
Mhm.
And so we like the movies things, and for instance, like we try to erase things that were existent then because at the time we didn't know things that we know now. Was like
Right.
now there are certain things that I again like that I understand that's like this should like we should not have allowed that to be said in a show. It's like, dude, we were watching Seventh Heaven recently. You remember that show?
Oh, yeah, Jessica Biel?
Yes.
Everyone's crush?
One
Everybody's crush.
dude, you know what I didn't know until recently was that
Dad? Don't say it about the dad. You know about the
oh yeah,
dad?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I didn't
I
know that's where
actually
we're going.
was reading about that recently and it was he was not widely canceled as, like, as much as you thought he
As
would
much as he
be.
should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, like, an interview that got leaked is what how all that came out,
Mhm.
and he was very, like from what I read, like, very remorseful, very, like, apologetic, like, acknowledged his
Have you
wrongdoing
seen
and
the
it
documentary?
no.
Watch it, it'll change
Okay.
your mind on that.
Really?
It was scripted and it's PR. Yeah.
Oh,
He's a
man. I love
dirty
that show, though,
bastard.
so I'm not
Yeah,
gonna watch it
I did
because I
too.
love that show.
Okay, so real quick,
Yeah.
so when you it doesn't take away from the show was
Yeah,
good. So
yeah,
when you
yeah,
hear
yeah,
about
yeah.
people, you're like, "Man, that kinda
Yeah,
sucks."
it's hard.
It's like living here in
It's like
town.
Danny Masterson with The Ranch.
Same,
Mhm.
right? Okay,
Mhm.
so go with musicians you meet in town, you're like,
Yeah,
"Ah,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
aren't
yeah,
really
yeah.
the person I
There's a whole
thought you
thing
would be,
yes,
but
the
I
whole
really
thing
like
with
your
that.
music." So it's like, how
Yeah,
do
there's a
you
whole thing with that.
Alright, but go ahead,
Well,
sorry.
so but in that dude, in, the first season of that show, they said the N-word, like, hard R.
Yes. Hard R.
And I
Yeah.
was like, Roman happened to be in the room when he said it. He wasn't listening or paying attention, because like and I was like, that came out in, like, '96, and I'm like, "Yeah, maybe we should edit that." You know what I mean? And
100%.
so that's what that is the only reason I'm bringing that up is, like, there are certain things that we allowed at a stage
Yeah.
of life that I'm like, I don't know that we should have ever allowed
Even
that.
if it
But
was like, a white person, definitely. If it's even as a black person,
you
that
should
just
that's
should have
just
been
yeah, yeah. And dude,
nipped.
that was, public television too.
Yeah.
And so I was like I'm like that and
Was
that
that the
was
WB?
it was WB, but I think it was on the by the time it finished on the CW, which was owned by WB.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
And so I think it started as I don't remember what it was, but it was network television.
Yeah.
But so I was like all of that to say is like, there are certain things I was like that I'm like, why are we overly analytical of the past? Not overly analytical, but like we try to be overly corrective of things that
Yeah.
happened that to me some things aren't necessary to that, you know?
There's
Like
certain
even
things
like
you
the
just gotta, like so when we kinda were talking about before we hopped on, it's like,
mhm.
you can't fault people for not knowing what they didn't know.
Correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. And
there's
I think that's probably my greater point is like and that was even with the Mars Hill podcast was like we're overly analyzing that era of life and ministry. And this is a niche conversation not
Mhm.
everybody's gonna understand, but like he was Mark Driscoll did not handle things properly. He did a lot of spoke hateful. Like well, there's a lot
Mhm.
of things that were incorrect, but we're also viewing it where I got frustrated, and that was not to dismiss anybody's hurt or anything, because like we both have also experienced being hurt by people in ministry too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not to dismiss that, but it's like at the time it was acceptable, and now we're looking at it through the lens of how we understand things. At the time, I think it came out like 21 or 22. So it's like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's 2026 even. And it's like, yeah, we're gonna see a lot of flaws in that. It's like even I saw a clip of something the other that happened like 2012, 2013. And I'm like, how did that ever get publicly aired? And that was
Yeah.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
So to your point is like, at the time, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And then hopefully over time, our understanding and all of our things Like, there were things that I said or thought 10 years ago that, God, I would hope would never see the light of day.
Yeah, I still go
You know
back
what
to,
I
like,
mean?
I'm glad, like, when I was in college, there wasn't social media or
Yeah.
cameras or pictures, like, we'd all have been canceled. Long
Mhm.
just not the things that we said,
Yeah.
but just, again, going back, we stole golf carts from
Yeah, you there was
security,
things
like,
that
things
happened,
that,
yeah.
like, you just don't you're like,
Yeah.
"Man, I'm glad that's not, like, a thing."
So, when you were in school at ORU,
Mhm.
did you ever anticipate living in Nashville and being in the fitness world?
No, absolutely not. I was so going back to that Guts church, I
Mhm.
wasn't a youth pastor by any means, but we had, like, youth leaders,
Mhm.
and so, like, I was, like, part of that
And
group.
this was the early 2000s?
Early 2000s, yeah,
Okay.
2000, 2001.
Okay.
And so, like, I was part of that church because, like,
Mhm.
I was going to school originally for, like, exercise science, kinesiology. Well, I
Okay,
take
so
so I
so you were, like, in
well,
school to learn the world of what you're in now?
I take that back. I
Okay.
started out as MIS. I was doing computer programming. That was, like, where
Okay.
I
So
first
so
started.
you never went to school for ministry?
Nope,
Okay.
nothing.
That's what I wasn't sure.
But, like, growing up in, like, a Christian home, going to a Christian high school, going to a Christian college,
Yeah.
it's just like you're you pretty much automatically have a minor in theology
You have you it
because
is like it's a requirement in that world
yeah,
that you have a minor
and
in,
even in, like I think was it hermeneutics we had? No, it wasn't hermeneutics we had in
you
college.
had a Bible minor though, for sure, in that world.
You
Like,
pre
even at Liberty, I think Bible, like, and I might have changed now, I mean, I graduated 11 years ago,
yeah.
but, like, you had to take Bible classes. It was
We
the
did
nature of
too.
the beast.
I think you were and I'm gonna be off, you were probably, like, a couple classes short of having a minor in some sort of,
Yeah.
like, theology, but, like, obviously, you had to take Bible classes, and
Yep.
hermeneutics, I think, was one, like, my I actually enjoyed that class a lot, just getting, like, the
Yeah.
history of everything,
Oh, yeah.
but, no, I went for, like, MIS,
Okay.
and but the thing was, like, back then, like, yeah, I got ADD. No one knew anything about Adderall. Lord, if I had 5 amps or Adderall in college, straight A student,
Dude,
no problem.
I
I can't look at zeros and ones and zeros and ones. It's just like
no.
I'm the person who, if I'm reading a chapter, I've gotta read it 2, 3 times, and if
Yeah,
you're reading
yeah,
a
yeah,
book
yeah,
that's
yeah.
this thick,
And that's
each
probably why
chapter is
you
just
and I
like
get along well.
'cause we forget which other
I have
ADD.
ADHD
Oh,
so
so
bad.
bad.
I guarantee you I do. Now I wanna make this statement very clear. I said this on an episode my dad actually texted me about the other day. I ain't going on Ritalin.
Mm-mm.
No shot in hell.
No, I'm not saying I haven't done Adderall, and probably not for the reasons it's supposed to be used, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's
Um,
not important to the topic of
it's
conversation.
not.
But so it's like, but I'm like, what? Like, I just, my wife is like, I mean, Tori. The
Yep.
other day we were, what were we doing?
I don't
I
do we
was
wanna know?
getting ready. Yeah, well, it wasn't bad. I was getting ready to come downstairs and work, and like Rome was at school. I just got back from the gym. I was talking to her, Harvey.
Mm,
She's holding Harvey, whatever. We're hanging out, and I was like, it takes like the way I'm wired, like it takes me a minute to like focus and like hone in. And so I
mhm,
was getting ready to come downstairs in my office, and like once I'm down here working, like I'm in,
yeah.
I'm dialed. But like she walks over because she had like submit her schedule for work or something, and I don't remember what I said, and she looks at me, she goes, "No, I can actually, like, focus on something, like, one thing at a time." And I was like, "That feels
Shots
like a
fired, yeah.
personal attack."
Yeah, shots fired.
But so, she speaking of ADHD, that is 9 sometimes I feel bad for people that listen to the pod because, like, I try to stay on
You
topic.
try to, right?
I really wanna do my
That's like we
best.
talked earlier, like, you don't want a podcast that's scripted, but you almost need someone with cue cards, like, "Hey, let's come back to one," or have an earpiece, be like, "Hey, you guys were talking about this?"
Yeah, sometimes it
You're
would probably be better if I
bring it back.
had a legitimate producer
Yeah.
that was like, "Hey, you've gone on a tangent about JCPenney's Christmas catalog for 15
Yep.
minutes and no one
We
cares."
started out growing up as in the
So,
church, and now we're at JCPenney Christmas,
yeah,
and
and
then we
Kmart, and
in
so now we're
Kmart and Ventures, which no one even knew about unless you're old.
so it's like somebody, Hallie, when she was on my friend Hallie, when she was on, her husband was sitting in the room, and, somebody brought up Circuit City, and she's like, "What's Circuit City?" And I'm like, "You're too young."
Yeah.
Like, that's when, like,
Radio
anyways.
Shacks, Circuit City, man.
Dude, I think that's what we were talking about was radio. I think maybe Kelly said something about Radio Shack, and then I said Circuit City, and she's like, "What are those?" And I'm like, "Well, it's like Best Buy divided into 2,
Yeah.
basically."
Little small hole in the wall
God, and Radio
spot.
Shack was in every mall.
Yeah.
I miss malls what they used to be. Anyways, so back to sorry. So you go to school.
So I went to school. I
So
did. I did.
again, ADHD.
I
I'm
was there
sorry.
for a while.
So you went to school though and you originally studying computer
So I was
science.
computer science,
Computer science.
and then switched over at some point to, like, exercise science or kinesiology. I can't
Okay.
remember which one.
So what made you make that switch though?
Realizing that I can't look at code all day.
So
Like,
that's like the type of computer science you ran was like
it was like
coding.
zeros and one. But the thing was
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
was
yeah.
going because like at that time being a computer because growing up like
Mhm,
in high school it's like oh you're kind of a nerd if you're doing computer science. But then
mhm,
like they tried to spin it like man you can make some good money and
mhm.
and
Well,
it
and
was
this
like the
was early
cool.
in the computer era too. So that's
Oh yeah.
interesting that computer science was a major at the time, considering the fact that like early 2000s, like that was the dot com era. So it's
Hmm.
like it was not a now granted, my dad owns a computer consulting firm and he started it in 99. And I mean that was early.
Hmm.
I mean, he graduated community college early 90s and he like studied computer engineering stuff.
Yeah.
But so it's like it still is like it was still early
Yeah.
enough like that's interesting that that was a focus you could do.
Yeah. And and it probably couldn't have been a major that long.
Oh,
But it
for
was like, oh,
sure.
let me and I was
Yeah.
always like curious and interested. Like we were too small of a town to kind of get the whole .com era. Like it was a
Yeah.
thing, but like no one
Because
really knew what it
you grew
was.
up in Kansas City
St.
or
Louis. So
St.
a little
Louis.
south of
Okay.
St. Louis. So like
Okay.
about 30,
Shout out
40 miles
Nelly.
south. So shout out Nelly,
God,
country grammar.
I was literally playing. So a buddy of mine in high school, I was telling Roman this the other day. Roman and I, when we go to school, it's like the music usually revolves around his house music that he likes. Like
Hmm.
the kid loves house music, bro.
Okay.
It's like it's because of Dude Perfect. And so like Dude
Oh,
Perfect has these
yeah.
house music playlists. Somebody made like every song that
Yeah.
they use on a video, someone made this place. That's what it is most of the time. Every now and then I get to throw in some hip hop. So a buddy of mine in high school, his basketball number was number one. Shout out Devin. I think he listens, but he'll hear this. So every time like Nelly comes on, I always text him. And he but so the other day I turned on number one for Roman.
Yeah.
And I was like, Roman, I was like, this one of daddy's buddies was like, this was his song in high school. And so I was playing
Yeah.
number
Number
one,
one.
no matter if you like it. Dude, that song still anyways. So I was introducing Roman to like I got in this dude a deep hole of like throwback hip hop
Yeah.
with Roman.
I mean, those are like the classes. Like I would always play old
Oh,
school hip hop. Like it's
that's
the best.
yeah, dude. I still like I just don't listen to new not that new stuff isn't good. I just don't listen to it.
I'll tell you it's not.
Yeah, that's
Like
fair.
I'll be the old head who's like,
No.
like the
That's
2010 is still my favorite like
yeah, no,
era for sure.
I would say that. I would stand by that 2011 to 2000 well, I would go back maybe to 2009, 2010 to 2000 end of 2012 was probably the greatest era of hip
Yeah,
hop.
give me that decade, 2000s to
Yep.
2012, somewhere in there. I think it
Mhm.
was
Dude, I think you could this is just my opinion. I think that 2011 to 12 was the greatest year of hip hop and rap.
it definitely comes down like that generation, right? Because like I
Yep.
grew up like I loved like Tupac was like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
big
yeah,
thing
yeah,
was
yep.
just like
Yep.
Tupac,
Yep.
like Bone Thugs and Harmony, like NWA, Ice
Mhm.
Cube, like West Side Connection, which was like Dub C Mac 10, Ice Cube, like that was their
Yep.
album. Like that was and Snoop obviously and
Yep.
Dre. Like that's what I loved listening to, but also like we had CDs, like the Discman back then. And
Dude, those were so good. Man,
I will tell
I
you
miss the analog of all of that.
when we did bus trips, road trips
Yep.
to away
Mhm.
games.
Mhm.
They would do CD checks in high school, like here. So I would put my Stephen Curtis Chapman CD over top of my All
Okay,
Eyes on
hold
Me
on.
Tupac.
Hold on. Steven Curtis Chapman though,
Mhm.
I still love him.
Yeah,
I still
he has some
dude,
bangers.
and dude,
Clay Cross.
dude, Steven Curtis Chapman's doing it like what is it? 20 it has to be 25th anniversary of his Speechless album, I think is what it is.
Is at least 25th anniversary. Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, that has to be
This
because yeah.
again,
No, I've been here
this is
20
a
years.
niche conversation that most people do not understand.
So Jars of Clay.
I remember Jars of
Okay,
Clay.
so
I'm
um
looking this up
girl
right
I
now.
dated in high school,
Okay.
unfortunately her mother passed away. And Jars of Clay went to Belmont with her sister and they wrote a song and I cannot remember what it is, and I should remember. And it was like it became like one of their major hits, but it was written for their mother who passed away in a car accident. And
Dang.
it was like crazy because like you're like, oh man, Jars of Clay was like because we all could listen to Christian music.
Yep.
Like I
This and I did I was not like legitimately people don't understand this. I was not allowed to listen to quote unquote secular music
no.
when I was growing up. Like by the time I was older, dad and I used to listen to Alabama
Yeah.
a lot,
I could
but
listen to we could listen to certain country,
certain
Randy
country.
Travis, before you
Mhm.
realized he was a drunk. But you could listen to
Mhm.
Randy Travis, you could
Yep.
listen to Alabama,
Certain country
um,
you could listen to, but like
Ricky Skaggs,
my
things like that.
what's funny though is like my parents grew up in like the hair band era. So like
Yeah.
Warrant was like my dad used to have the Warrant so Heaven, the Warrant
Oh,
song
yeah.
is my mom and dad's song, which I don't even know if people still do that or not. That, like, they consider having a song to do. Tori and I don't
Yeah.
have a song.
You should.
Um, we should. I don't know what my girlfriend in high school, her song was "God Gave Me You." So, like, to this day, sorry, Dave Barnes, I hate that song. That's so
But it was a banger song, though.
yeah, honestly, like, for a long time, that song would come on, I'd skip it. The other day, it came on, and I actually listened to it, and I was like, "Damn, this song's kind of hard." 'Cause God gave me you. But the thing was is we didn't listen to the Dave
First of all, we
Barnes
harmonized
version.
that very well.
We did.
Yeah.
We listened to the Blake Shelton version. For the ups and downs. God, I hope I don't get DMCA'd for singing
No, as long as it's
4
under a
lines.
certain time, you can't go more than, like, I think it's like a 5-second or 5
Alright.
lines. So you should be good.
For the days of doubt. Why does that song kinda sound like Third Day?
Man, Third Day,
You know
holy
you
crap.
know how always what we always call it, so, like, I grew up in
Forgot
the
all
era where
about
you
Third Day.
hated Nickelback. Now I love Nickelback.
See okay,
But, like,
so
I was a teenager when it was cool to hate Nickelback, when they were the people no one liked.
well, I grew up there when Nickelback wasn't even a thing. Like, no one knew 'em.
Yeah, so we were between the 2.
Yeah.
Or so,
We
like,
have
they
that
were
little
popular,
they're
like, they were, like but now the thing was when everybody hated them, like, you still knew who they were because you hated them. Now I listen to them, I'm like, "Dude, their music's fire."
it bangs,
But so we called Third Day the Christian version of Nickelback.
for sure. Well, then you had, like, the pe
God of wonders beyond. We're in such a niche
we
world of
well, let's
conversation
go
right now.
what about POD? 'Cause POD was like that.
Bro, I
Well, then you had
forgot
DC
about
Talk with
POD.
Jesus Freak, which was the
Yep,
first song that actually got played on, like,
mhm,
secular radio,
yep,
and
that
it
was a
was just
big deal,
like
bro.
it was a thing,
Mhm.
and it was just like, "Alright,
Oh,
so."
yeah. But all that to say is, like, I'm trying to think the quote, unquote, "hardest thing" I was allowed to listen to when I was a teenager. Eventually, my parents came around to Lecrae. Was allowed to
Uh,
listen to Lecrae. So this was, like, the early air it, like this was when, like, Christian hip hop started to become more popular.
T-Bone was the hip hop Christian I think it was T-Bone, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure. He was, like, the hip hop artist that everyone kinda, like,
okay.
'cause it was such a
Do
new
you remember,
thing.
who was saying "Ooh ah"? My life be like, "Ooh
Uh,
ah, ooh."
Grits.
Grits. He was a
Uh,
big Christian hip hop artist.
met them, hung out with them 2 weeks ago with my buddy Ben.
No way.
Yeah,
They were a big Christian hip hop group
huge
back
they're
then.
they're the 2 coolest guys ever.
Yeah.
So,
What
one
that
of
was
them
on, was it the first Fast and Furious? It was in one of the Fast and Furious movies.
oh,
Oh,
man. I don't know if
ooh.
it'd been the
Maybe it's the
oh, it
second.
was no. I feel like it was the first one because he had the Mitsubishi, it was pulling up
I think that's what it
to I
was.
think
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
it was.
Times like these that make me
Yeah.
say yeah.
I think it
So
was the first yeah.
that was but so, like,
It
I
was a Mitsubishi
eventually I
Eclipse.
got around to, like, my parents let me listen to that. Now, granted, they didn't know about my iPod that I had that I like, my buddy would put all of my, like, pregame hip hop on, so it was, like,
Mhm.
Drake, Lil Wayne,
Yeah.
Eminem, all like, Kanye, it was
Yep.
all that. But, mom and dad now, I've already discussed on this podcast before how my sister tattled on me when I was in high school that I listened to Lil Wayne. Yeah, dude. She's like, "What?" She's like, "You were corrupting me. What did you want me to say?" I was like, "No, you were in the wrong, and I stand by it." But I digress. Um, but so it's like, dude, I mean, like my freshman year of high school, like it was Steve Martin or not Steve Martin, Steve Green. You remember Steve Green? Did you ever?
Mm-mm.
You would know some of his music if
Okay.
you heard it. He was real big in the Baptist church world,
Okay.
and then like Stephen Curtis Chapman,
Of course.
Toby Mac. This
Yeah,
was
shout out
post
DC
DC
Talk.
Talk.
Yeah.
This was like,
Also, the funny thing about DC Talk, they had a song called "I Love Rap Music," but they sang
yeah.
the whole time, they didn't actually rap.
Isn't that
It's
hilarious?
it's yeah.
Yeah, it's just but dude, the Christian music world was like, especially in that era. Did you ever listen to Plus One?
Yeah.
God, I turned on
I have the
I
CD
just
for
got
sure.
in a big discussion the other day with somebody about Plus One, and I don't remember who it was. But dude, I kind of still love it. Like
Yeah.
they were people that didn't grow up in church. Don't understand that they were in sync and Backstreet Boys for church kids that weren't allowed to listen to them.
100% they were. Yeah.
And it was I didn't I the album I had, I literally just listened to it the other day for some unknown reason. And I was like, "Dude, this kinda goes hard." And I tell you part of the reason why was because there was a song on it called "Let Me Be the One." And I used to just that was the song I'd tell girls that I like when I was in elementary school that I liked it. It's Josh's
You were in elementary school telling them that. I was like a senior
"Let
telling the
me
same thing.
be the one." Dude, the album was obvious. It came out 2002.
Okay, I was in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's no chance I didn't have that
Yeah. Oh,
CD.
no, that was the hardest CD I was allowed to own. And when I was 8. Was I 8, I guess? 8 or 9 or 7 or 8, somewhere in there. And I was allowed to have that. Don't ask me why. And they had this like camouflage. Dude, I don't know how we ended up at this stage of this conversation.
ADHD.
ADHD. So back to you were
So I s well,
you were in school.
we can go back to a bunch of different things
Yeah,
we
yeah,
talked
yeah, yeah.
about. We'll go back to so the CD thing. I used to put, like,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how
the
what we were
first
talking about. That's how
secular
we
album
got
I was allowed to have was Weezer's Blue Album.
Bro, Weezer goes so hard still.
And we've got a friend who's their, like, production manager and coolest guy
No
in the
way.
world, and his stories are awesome. But, like, that Blue Album from front to end, you can play the whole time, but I remember
Yep.
putting that over so it was probably Clay Cross album was probably
Yeah, I
over
forgot
the
about
top
Clay Cross.
bangers,
Mhm.
all bangers.
Yep.
And I remember my stepdad found it and he was like, "What's this?"
Crap.
He's like, "Mm." So he's like, back then you had the CDs and
Yep.
OVCs, they had the lyrics. Well, it didn't have the lyrics. One song I think said "damn" in it, and
Yep.
I can't listen to it because it said "damn."
Dude, yeah.
He found so back then you could do, I think it was like BMG, you could do 10 CDs for $1 or something like that.
Yep.
Shout out to my
You
grandma who
remember
used to,
FYE?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was FYE
Dude,
was so big back in the day.
we so
I miss that era of life so much, bro.
I miss, like, if I feel like I spent so much time trying to hide my stuff. If I would
Mhm.
actually put that energy and that ADD into something like positive,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I could
yeah,
have
I
been so
get
much
it.
more successful.
Oh, for sure.
I remember I had cut out the bottom of my seat in my car. I was like 16, and
No
I had
way.
CD cases, and I put the CDs in there, and my dumbass locked my key. My stepdad's like, "Oh," and now even so easy to open up old cars back in the day.
Yep.
And he comes in and he's like, "Hey," I was like, "Hey, did you tell me something?" I was like, "I think so." And, like, I'm having dinner, like, I just got off
Yeah.
basketball practice and got back.
Yeah.
He was like, found something in your car."
Ah,
I didn't do drugs. I didn't drink. I didn't do anything. So I was like, "Okay." He's like, "You wanna explain this to me?" And he was like, "Tupac, Snoop, West Side Connection,
which is such not a
secular music."
it's not a big deal, but, like, I know how big of a deal that was for you
Oh,
in that stage of you know what I
he
mean?
broke every CD, showed it to me in the trash, and then we prayed.
Okay, dude, listen, here's what I need you to understand. Um, I did you ever hear the Christian camp called the Wilds?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so the Wilds was like a super Southern or not Southern Baptist. God, if they ever heard me call them Southern Baptist, they were like a very independent, strict Baptist,
Okay.
church camp in Brevard, North Carolina, which the campus was beautiful, but they were very tied into Bob Jones University.
Oh, yeah.
So, like,
Was Bob Jones where the women and men had to walk on separate
separate
sidewalks?
sidewalks.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was Pensacola was like that too.
That's right. Oh,
Pensacola was arguably stricter than Bob Jones was.
okay.
Like, and especially like later 2000s, early 2010s.
Did y'all have the
I
6-inch rule where you couldn't sit next to
Yes.
somebody?
Oh,
We used to
yeah,
put
dude.
coats over so we could hold hands under coats. So
Dude,
we,
so my youth group when I was a freshman in high school, I was like talking to a girl that was 2 years younger than me. So I was like, but she was like a year younger than me. She was 2 grades below me. And we did this. We did a fifth quarter one time. It was so the church was associated with the school I went to, Christian school I went to.
of course.
So we did a fifth quarter after the soccer and volleyball games in the fall. So we went to like I don't remember where we went. Spare Time was the name of the place.
Okay.
Don't ask me why I remember that, but it was in Ironton, Ohio. It was like
Well,
it was one of
obviously
those
she meant
places.
something to you.
Oh yeah, of course she meant something to me. I was 14, dude. It was my whole world.
That's right.
You remember. But so anyways, yeah, that was
You sent her the +1 song.
I don't know that I did. If I didn't, I'm sorry. That's probably why it didn't work out. I've been married 11 years and I
He
didn't
got married at 16. This was the girl
Yes.
at 14. Sorry. She was so close to being the one. She could have been the +1.
Could have been +1. So but yeah, no, it was like you had to like hide holding hands under like a jacket or something.
Yes.
It's like I don't even think we were allowed to sit beside each other. It's like if I remember correctly, it was like I was sitting with my arm like this behind a
How
chair.
many times you
to,
would
like,
do this, like behind a friend, like under
Yeah.
under the bleachers? so you could kind of hold hands. Like you're like go-go gadget
Did
arm,
you
like
go to
Stretch
a public
Armstrong.
school or a Christian school?
But so I started out at a public school
Okay.
until about like 7th or 8th grade,
Okay. And
and
then
then
you
transferred to a Christian school
okay. So
until about
you get it. It's like
yeah.
that work like it is just so many people don't understand is like that was legitimately our life.
Mhm.
Like the school I graduated so I went to 2 different Christian schools, transferred my sophomore year.
Did you get kicked out or transferred?
I know I transferred.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, like I no, I did not get
No
kicked out.
judgment.
Like I was not a, like a big enough I didn't have enough balls to like be a shithead enough to get kicked
Uh-huh,
out.
same.
And so it's like I was a punk my sophomore year when I transferred because I was just tired of how strict it was. I was like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna leave, and you know.
Yeah.
And I've talked about that some on this podcast. Ironically enough, that was 26 years ago. Why wait? So that's weird to me though, or not 26, 16.
I was like I was in my
Sorry.
math group, I was like,
Yeah,
"Man,
no, but still, like
you're an old
16
soul."
years ago is like that's just a thought. It's like that's
Mm.
crazy. But the perspective on it now, you look back on it, you're like, we're talking about this earlier. It's like the older you get, the perspective you have on life earlier
Yeah, it
changes.
changes.
But so it's like beside the first school though that I went to is like they didn't have prom, they had junior senior.
We had social. Yeah, you couldn't have
Yeah, it
prom
was not prom because
because we
there
had
was no
people who couldn't
dancing.
dance. That's right. You couldn't
There was
dance
no
at all.
dancing. And every girl's so even the school I went to my sophomore, junior, senior, we did have prom, we did dance, but it was like there's a picture somewhere of me like dancing with a girl that like I was talking to my senior year. We were not talking at the time we had before, but we
You're
danced
kind of a
together.
player, huh?
We don't need to go there.
Well, you got
My
married at 16, so you had to get out of your system before then, so
I was 20, but point applies. So we were dancing though, and I guarantee you, dude,
oh,
we're
straight
standing
arm.
like
You
this.
couldn't
Like
yeah,
we're
you were,
not,
like,
it
on
was
the hips, and you
yeah,
couldn't put your hands
which was
around.
funny. I went to one public school dance my senior year with my girlfriend in my senior year. She went to a public school and we did. And dude, that was like, it wasn't a big dance. It was like the Wild West out there, bro.
We
I'm
were
like,
grinding in 7th grade. We had a
what,
dance 7th grade,
bro?
and we were grinding, and then I go and transfer schools like, "Well, we only have a social
I
because you
don't
can't
see
dance."
nothing wrong
Well, yeah, I don't who would bet?
with the little bump and grind.
Oh, I probably had that was yeah, I was too when that came out, I was definitely probably college.
Okay.
I'm
But
trying
bump
to
and
think what was
grind.
like bum grind yeah, well, we
Bro, I heard so and I had like I grew up playing basketball, so like I had a bunch of friends that like went to public school.
mhm,
And so I heard stories and even like in high school, I had friends that went to public school. I only ever went to one public school dance because the school I went to, sophomore, junior, senior, they allowed it. They didn't,
yeah,
they
of
really
course.
did. They were pretty lax on a lot of stuff, which is how I ended up there. And they were, and like, one of the biggest deals though, this is so stupid and so niche. But when I
Kinda
transferred,
fits what we're going
we
on
were allowed to listen. We were allowed to have headphones and listen to our own music before games, like before basketball games.
Yeah,
The school that I went to my freshman year, like first grade through freshman year, we were not.
okay,
We weren't because like they didn't know what you listened to.
yeah,
And so like so like I remember my principal at the school I graduated from kind of bringing it up of like he didn't love us sitting in the gym with all of us having our headphones on.
mhm,
It wasn't changing. Like
yeah.
none of us ever like quit doing like I mean, dude, I had Beats. This was when Beats were massive. Like it was like so that
I
whole
had
world
the
was
headphones
changing.
that had the little foam thing with the cord that plugged in
Oh yeah, I
because
did
we didn't
too.
have the Beats. We
Oh
had
yeah,
little
but I still have the Beats I got my senior year of high school.
dang,
I don't know why. They're dry rotted and stuff. It's like, but it was
they're a
so
collector's item now.
dude, this was before Apple owned Beats because I tried to get them
Mm,
warranty replaced one
yeah.
time from Apple, and they
Which,
were
I
like,
mean,
"What's the serial
Trey
number?" They're like, "Yeah, we don't have that in our
Trey got
system."
such a deal.
Yeah,
He such a deal.
brilliant,
Good for him.
brilliant. So, all right, so
Shout
you
out Dr. Dre if you're
shout
listening.
out Dr. Dre. Someday this is gonna reach his ears, and
Yeah.
he's gonna hear us talking about him. All right, so you switched to back to
Yeah, we're back to
college.
college.
We're back to college. Okay, so what made you what made you though go into the exercise science world? Like when you start in computer science,
I
you
have
go
no
exercise
idea,
science.
honestly. So, like, I
'Cause at the time you had like think now it makes sense because it's what you've made your career out of. I mean, now you're what 20 years into
yeah. So,
and
I mean, I'm trying to think. So I did. So I actually was going to try to go into teaching,
okay.
because I like the idea of physical education. Um,
PE teachers are the best.
and it was a fun job.
Yep.
And at
You
some
get
point,
you
I
get an
kind of
easy work schedule to teach kids how
super,
to be active.
and you just kind of realize like you have to go to the classroom. It's like, and you would do like
Yep.
it's not an internship or whatever you do when you're in college. Like, oh, I got to go do my
Oh yeah, like student teach.
student
Yeah,
teach
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
and hang out. And it's like oh, this is kind of cool. But then you kind of realize, like, one, there's no money in it.
There's zero money. Not unless you end up at a private school in Nashville, then maybe there's
That's
money.
true.
But
Very
at the
true.
time, you don't know that.
No, but also it's like I got to the point where it's like going back to like I was that youth leader or
Oh,
assistant or
yeah.
whatever. The church, like
Yeah.
I just want to help like kids and be like and help be
Yep.
supportive and whatever. Like,
Mhm.
and it's like, man, I can go volunteer at a Boys and Girls Club
Mhm.
for free, and I can go make money doing something I actually like to make money at and enjoy it.
Mhm.
So at some point, so I was at ORU for a couple years, then went to the community college for a semester for gen eds because like ORU at the time was like 18, 20 grand a semester or a year. Sorry,
Wow.
it was expensive and
That
because it
is
was a
very
private.
expensive. Yep.
So then I could go to community college for like $1,200 and get like my gen eds
So
out of
you
the
so
way.
you didn't finish at
So I
ORU?
didn't finish. I transferred from
Okay.
ORU to Evangel University in Springfield, Missouri, where Missouri
Dude, yeah,
State's
yeah.
at.
I think I did know that.
And so they were like an NAI school. So like I
Mhm.
was wanting to try to play basketball there.
Mhm.
'Cause I loved basketball, and I didn't. I wouldn't have got a scholarship. Could like walked on.
For sure.
Um, but even then, it's like okay, you want to, in a sense, work 40 hours a week to be like, just run around be the practice squad.
Yeah.
And so,
Yep.
girl I was dating played on the women's team. And so at
Mhm.
ORU, before scout teams were a thing, where like, because I think
Mhm.
Pat Summit really made it big with Tennessee, where they were bringing in like men to this play
Yep.
against women. So they did that at ORU. And so like
Mhm.
me and a bunch of guys that had like a basketball knowledge would come in and we would just learn the other team's plays and we'd scrimmage against the girls. And it wasn't about like,
This was at
fun.
ORU,
This was at
right? Okay.
ORU. And so then I did that for a couple years. And then when I went to Evangel, I was like, I told the coach, hey, I said, back at ORU, we did this.
Mhm.
And so he's like, if you get some guys that know how to play, because you're in college, you're trying to show off. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? It's like
Yep.
he's like, I don't need guys who can show off. I need guys who know how to run plays and
Mhm.
can like play defense and help the team out. And so
Yeah.
we had a group that would do that. And it's
That's
like
sick.
they'd give you like free pair of shoes. And then this is like
Wow.
debit cards were just now being accepted at fast food restaurants. This is how long ago it
Dude,
was.
that is a startling thing to think about because it's like to the po what is it's like in Christmas Vacation. That's what the movie I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. When they go the scene where he's talking to the sales clerk.
Mhm.
But, like, with the how that whole scene starts out is someone's running a credit card, and they didn't run it through
It's over a
machine.
piece of paper.
Mhm.
And then like sometimes you have to scratch over because there's the carbon fiber or carbon whatever copy at the bottom.
That was not that long ago.
Yeah.
I
It was
digress, I'm
but
sorry.
that's
The
where
ADHD is
so he would be like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you guys gift
Mhm.
cards to
Mhm.
McDonald's or wherever,"
Mhm.
and that would be our payment. So it's like, "I get a free pair of shoes
Yep.
and I get free food. Done." And all
Dude,
I
that
gotta
was
do is
when
show
Mc
up for like an
that was
hour of
before
the
everybody
practice.
canceled McDonald's for being unhealthy too.
Yeah.
That was when this dude, Supersize.
Oh, even after supersize, I still do McDonald's.
I still do
Yeah.
McDonald's to this day. There's one
Nuggets,
2 minutes from here. Sometimes it just sounds right.
20-piece nuggets and fries out of the oven. Done. Best fries.
All right, this is a little early in the episode for me to give a
Mhm.
hot take, but since we're talking about fast food,
Okay.
I love hot takes. You know
Yep.
me well enough to know that, and I haven't given a good hot take on this podcast in a few episodes.
Okay. We're overdue.
Oh, I'm very
Hot take. We're overdue for a hot take.
oh, we're so overdue for a hot take. I think In-N-Out sucks.
Oh, I saw that. Same.
Bro,
It's
sucks maybe not the right word.
overrated.
It's so overrated.
Overrated.
I swear on my life, it's genuinely not over a 5.
Yeah.
Like, I rated it on my Instagram story, and if you follow me on Instagram, you saw it. I rated it a 4.3,
Yeah.
and I stand by it. I was so frustrated because we waited so, like, Tori had it in California, like, 12 years ago. She wanted to go, but we're not, like, stands of it, so we're not waiting in line the day it comes out.
Yeah.
We finally like, one of the first times the 2 of us got to hang out, like, our anniversary was 2 weeks ago.
Happy
The week
anniversary.
Thank you. The week
Shout out, Tori.
after well, we're recording this in February, so the week after
Oh, yeah.
the week after anniversary was her mom came in town. Roman
Okay.
was off school, so she tends to do that. She's always kept Roman for us to do something for our anniversary. With having Harvey, we can't travel yet because he's so,
Yeah, yeah.
all that early baby stage, which you forget about when you have an 8-year-old and then you bring a newborn in and you're like, "Oh, I forgot how hard it was." Anyways, we're like, "We'll just go hang out around town for the day." We'll just like she didn't really want to go do like a fancy dinner, and I was cool with that. Like, let's just go
Yeah.
have fun, do something. So we go to In-N-Out. We waited for 30 something minutes to order, bro.
Yeah.
To order our food. And I was so frustrated because they were like letting people in to order far faster than they were fixing food.
Yeah.
So we, like, get a table or whatever. Got in line at, like, 11:30. We get our food at, like, 12:30. So it's, like, an hour we've been there, and I'm like, "What am I doing with my life?" Like, that is not me. I'm so frustrated myself for doing that, but I digress. So I get the food,
Yeah.
and I take a bite of the burger, and I go, "What?" And then I'm like, I'm a huge fry guy. Like, Tori wants me actually someday to do, like, a fry ranking on this show, like, or a blind taste test of fries.
Oh, I'm in
'Cause
on that.
I
I'm in on that.
genuinely think, like, there's some restaurants I've never had that I wouldn't know maybe,
Yeah.
but, like, but I I think I could get the greater majority correct.
Yeah.
So, like, I love fries. I have my whole life. I took a bite of those fries, and I was like, "This is the worst batch of fries I've ever had in my life." And they were cold and stale, but hot,
And here's the
and there
thing,
was no salt,
I'll give
and
them one little benefit of the doubt, like, they you have too many people and you're trying to turn over too
for
fast.
sure.
Nothing's gonna be as fresh as it should be. Nothing's gonna be as hot. Like, it's like when you order something from Uber Eats and you get if you want fries, I
And I
say,
expect that, though.
yeah. But there it's like, I don't know. I'm not waiting in line
I
for
don't know
anything.
how to right. I don't know how to describe that, like, what about it wasn't good,
Yeah.
except for that McDonald's burgers are better. I could give you right now, I could give you restaurants that are better fast food restaurants that are better burgers. McDonald's,
Yep.
Wendy's,
Yeah.
Cookout.
Cookout's great. Also very underrated.
Cookout's so
Where
good.
is a cookout anymore?
There's
There's one
2
on West
there's
End.
one on West End,
Oh,
there's
you know
one
what I
on
was thinking of?
Charlotte.
What was it Burger or something? There used to be one in Cool Springs, but next to J. Alexander's.
BurgerFi or Burger Up or Burger Republic.
Backyard
Backyard
Burger.
Burger.
Yes.
Dude,
Backyard Burger had one of the best burgers I'd ever had. And I think
I
they were from Memphis originally.
So, like, there's so many restaurants that have better burgers than In-N-Out. Like, but then you get into the sit down world, it's like, you've got, Shake Shack, great burgers.
Mhm.
Five Guys, great
You like
burgers.
a smash burger or a fat patty?
I'm okay either way.
Okay.
I'm okay either like, I don't have a preference of one burger's type
I like it
over the
thick.
other. Yeah, I like, a Baconator,
Burgers.
a
Yeah. I think.
got weird quick. A Baconator from Wendy's. So,
Okay.
we brought up McDonald's, and it just got me on this whole
Yeah.
dude, I took a bite of it and people are like, "Oh, you should have gone into animal style with onions." I'm like, "It had the sauce on it and pickles, and their pickles sucked." Like, I I don't know
I love
how
how
to
dedicated you are to this.
describe
Yeah.
dude, when I get on a hot take, it's like and then I should say this hot take for another episode, but I'm not going to. So I'm like, I'm already irritable because, like, I was starving, and it wasn't that it was inedible. It wasn't that bad. It
Yeah.
just was so overrated.
It's overrated.
It's so overrated, and people are like the one advantage it was $20 for the 2 of us to get food, and we got a lot of food.
Yeah. Well, you
So it's
better
like
for crappy food.
yeah, so, like, that was the one bright side was that it was not super expensive,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Okay, that's cool." So, I we leave, and we go to Tiger Woods Pop Stroke thing across the street.
How did you like that?
I loved it.
Okay.
Oh my
Maybe go
god,
next
I
week.
loved it.
Yeah.
Like,
Where's
we
going?
have to go.
Okay.
So, it's like it was $35 a person
Okay.
for unlimited golf. Now, I will say we only played one 18-hole
Oh,
thing
it's
because
18 holes?
they have 3
They got
18
three.
holes.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize 18. So that's what I.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like
I'm
so
gonna get some info on
if you can do it and play more than one so, like,
How long did you wait to get in?
we walked right in.
Oh, okay.
We walked right in and, like, we waited 5 minutes to
That's not
pay.
bad.
We waited longer to play because it
Okay.
was a Sunday and it rained.
Okay.
So it's like the outdoor
Yeah.
18 was not barely
Yeah.
being used. So it's like everyone's inside
Of course.
and it's raining and it's a weekend, so it's, like, super busy. But I would do it. I can't wait to go back and do it.
Okay.
So, like, it was well worth the $35. We had a blast. It was just the 2 of us. There was, like, 2 couples behind us that, like, we were together the whole time. So, like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking shit with them, it was a ton it was a ton of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Now here's my hot take, though.
Okay.
I'm so like, you know me, I'm a golfer. I have played golf since I was 5. I've
Mhm.
played golf for my whole life,
You're literally
essentially,
the
at this
white
point in
Tiger
time.
Woods with a mustache.
Not really. I wish I was that good, but I'll take it.
You're humble.
If oh, if you go to a place like Pop Stroke and take your own putter in,
Is it as bad?
you cannot be taken
Is it as
seriously.
bad as when people bring their own golf clubs to Topgolf?
Yeah.
Okay.
That in my mind is now my boss, who's a far better golfer than I am, said he takes his own golf clubs into Topgolf, and I laughed at him.
I so
And
I've
he's
got
a
a, I
good
got
friend
a
of mine.
I've got a friend who did that, and
I just
so
but, like, my thing with doing that at Topgolf is I'm like, unless you're going with other serious golfers
mhm,
at a Topgolf, I can understand because of the fact of, like, if you're going with other golfers, you're for sure gambling, and so then you want your own clubs, but the balls are not real golf balls.
right. So
And
my
s
buddy who went, he took his he's like, "Look, I'm gonna be that guy who brings my own golf clubs because I'm trying to get some swings in before I go and play in
Sure.
Vegas, whatever." So I
Okay,
get that.
sure. So
I'm
be
not
it.
gonna tell you
I
a story. I got a
still am
friend,
gonna
his
make fun of
nickname's
you.
Bird Dog. I got a story about him. Probably somebody you don't know, but his name's Bird
Yeah.
Dog.
That sounds shut up, Blake. What a
But I do have a funny
beautiful
story
guy.
about my friend Bird Dog. Time.
We love Bird Dog. So, I, my thing with it though is like I can understand Topgolf doing
Mhm.
it somewhat.
Okay.
Still
'Cause
think it's
I don't under
ridiculous.
I haven't been to
I
Pop Show, so I don't.
but my thing at Pop Stroke, putting is the most niche part of golf.
Yeah.
Like it requires the most legitimate skill and just like everything of all of golf. You're putting on carpet, bro. Like, do you really think you can like so even further, aside from taking your putter in, you can rent a higher end putter for an extra $15. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
was so passionate. That was dude,
I went to Putt Shack with my buddy
but
Jeremy
check
one
is
time.
awesome.
One of
Far
our friends
overpriced.
wanted to yes, but you can go for like $30 unlimited on Sundays.
Can you
Yeah.
really?
But we had a friend come in town that we had gone to ORU with,
Yeah.
and he wanted to say, "Man, if I had my own putter, it'd be different." And, I'm not, like, knocking it
No,
at
it's
all,
not.
but I was like, "But it's not the same." Like, but
It's
honestly, it's
dude,
like,
it's not the same. If you listen to
at
this,
least Pop Stroke, like, the way it reads different than, like, a Putt Shack, because like, you're hitting jumps and ramps
yeah,
and,
but
like,
even Pop Stroke is like, bro, you're putting on literal carpet. It's turf. It's not grain. You can't read putt. Like, it's not that serious, bro.
but it is.
It's very serious to
Very
me because I'm
serious.
so pissed off
I see
about it.
that.
All right. So,
I'm here for
anyways,
it.
let's get off the
So at one point, I went to college.
so
Uh,
it just keeps coming back. So, talk to me though about moving to Nashville. We've talked about so
uh,
much random crap in this episode. So talk to me though, it's like what made so like you end up doing for those of who we haven't I guess maybe we've kind of said it, but you've been in the fitness world as a personal trainer, instructor for
20 years.
for 20
Yeah,
years, yeah.
20 years.
In Nashville doing it
Mhm.
for 12 to 15 or
20.
for 20,
Pretty
yeah.
much since I moved here, yeah.
So so you go to school, you end up studying that when you go to Evangeline.
Yeah, so I
And
go
then
to
so like what was the catalyst though that got you to Nashville? You've told me this
I
because like
had
you moved here with who did you move here with?
so I had some friends, some guys I went to college with at ORU,
Yeah.
and they had moved to Nashville. Um, after Evangel, I had moved to Memphis.
Yeah.
I was in Memphis for a little bit. Had a job working for like a company, like the Scotts Miracle Grow, like
Okay.
grass company.
Yep.
Called on like a bunch of territories in South Memphis, North Memphis, Mississippi, like the Lowe's and Home Depot. So I would cover like
Yeah.
if you had fertilizer, grass seed, those like I covered those areas
Okay.
there. And it, it's the spot. It's like when when you're trying to climb the corporate ladder, like in the
Mm.
beginning, you're stuck in the shitty spots, and
Yep.
like that area
There's no
was
getting out of it.
not fun. It was
Yep.
just like it was hot, it was
Mhm.
miserable. Most of your business is done during the spring and summer. It's humid. It's Memphis. It's North Mississippi. Like
Oof.
you're out in like the
Yikes.
outdoor area, like pulling
Yep.
pallets and you gotta wear this before dry fit was a thing. Thick cotton polo shirts. It was just miserable.
Oh,
So
dude, I remember that era.
was in Memphis.
Yep.
Wasn't going well. Had some friends that and one of the guys who I mean I've gone to school with everyone
Mhm.
at ORU, but one of the guys we were kind of in some of the same classes in the same fitness sort of circle. He's like, yeah, I'm working for a healthcare company.
Mhm.
We do we're like phone operators for like health coaches for
Mhm.
companies. If you're interested in the job, sure. So it comes back to like God does certain things for
Yeah.
certain reasons, and you just you don't realize it until after you realize it. So
Yeah.
I come up to do an interview. I sent my resume in, did an interview. I didn't get the manager. I got like her assistant because the manager had an emergency or something.
Okay.
Something like that. Interview with this person, and I'm like, I can kind of bullshit with anybody, and just
Mhm.
found something that they enjoy talking about, and we just laughed and had a good time. Kind of just like a personal conversation. my friend vouched for me, so I was good in that aspect.
Mhm.
But didn't have any background at the time in like the health field. I was working like a different job,
Yeah.
you know. So go back to Memphis, um, get a call back from the manager. It's like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna offer you the job if you want it. I was like,
Wow.
yeah, get me out of here. Boom, come up. Um, sees me, we meet, say hi, get the job, whatever. Turns out he misunderstood. He pulled the wrong resume. So I wasn't supposed to get hired. It was supposed to be somebody else. So like, let's say it was a Jason, similar name. So I got pulled, but they had offered me the job, so they couldn't take it back. So I got the job I was supposed to get. And so
No way.
I'm up here with some of the guys, and we're in like a 3-bedroom kind of townhome-ish apartment in
Yeah.
Cool Springs.
Mhm.
Um,
Before Cool Springs was Cool
before Cool
Springs. This
Springs
was what, late
was
2000s, early 2010s?
probably 2005, mid 2000s, 2005, 6, somewhere in
Okay.
there, give or take.
Yeah.
Um,
Which, like, people that, like, I mean, that's in Nashville, I'm not aware of, you know?
yeah. Well, because when I moved, so I had a friend from Evangel that lived in like Brentwood area, like nice
Mhm.
little neighborhood, and I knew Memphis
Mhm.
and I knew Knoxville,
Mhm.
and I grew up in the Knoxville sort of area, kind of
Mhm.
vibes. Kind, I mean, I spent most of my time, like I spent my time in St.
Yeah,
Louis,
yeah,
but
yeah,
we
yeah.
grew up in like a more of the country and sort of area.
Yep. More
I
remote.
didn't want either place, and
Yeah.
then they bring me to a place called Cool Springs, and I was like, Cool Springs is kind of nice. Like Cool Springs was like a different
Well,
vibe.
this was the era too where, like, you didn't go, um, sorry, my wife's texting me about the photo shoot.
Oh, it's not
They're
a big
getting
deal.
ready.
You should don't. Yeah, take that. You can FaceTime if you want. We say hi.
She's 5 steps away. Um, but this was though in the like, you moved here in the air was like, the Gulch was not somewhere you went.
You know,
12 South
the
was not
Gulch
somewhere
wasn't
you
even a
went.
thing. Like nothing in the Gulch
None
was
of what
even
is
built yet.
known
Yeah.
now was like Germantown.
Oh
Like,
no,
no
none of that.
East. Like, that was before East was
And
so
honestly, like
popular, and East was the first one to be popular
if you
again.
went to Broadway, you really only went to like
That
maybe
was before Broadway was
fifth and
Broadway.
fourth. You really didn't go past third too much because then the bars are cool. You
Yep.
had Tootsie's, you had Legends.
Mhm.
It's Rippy's now with the
Robert's
stuff.
Restaurant Western
Roberts was
World
there, but you really
had
didn't
Robert
go to
they're getting
Roberts
ready
that
to I
much.
just heard recently they're getting ready to do a massive renovation there.
Really
I just heard that this
interesting.
week. I was listening to Ernest, was on a podcast,
Oh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and, he was talking about it. Go there I could go there and get the recession special when we're done with
Interesting. Yeah, but yeah. It was.
like, I mean, that is what's so crazy to me about the way Nashville's changed, like, everything we know now,
Mhm.
when you moved here 21 years ago,
Yeah,
didn't exist.
nothing. Not even close. Like it was. You know, it was Cool Springs, and then Brentwood was like high end society. Brentwood, like you had Belle Meade, Bellevue, obviously, but like
Mhm.
no one really went there because it
Still
was like old
different.
school. It was kind of like boring. Even
Yep,
Brentwood was kind of like not that happening place.
yep.
Like, but like Cool Springs is where like the younger professionals are kind of moving to. So,
Mhm,
um, I moved in with those guys. Started we worked out at a gym at the time. It was the Franklin Athletic Club,
mhm,
and met some people there. And one of the guys said, "Hey, you ever think about doing personal training?" I was like, "Well, I kind of like worked the strength conditioning coaches and stuff back
mhm.
at Evangel. I did like I got a scholarship. I videoed like a lot of football practices, helped the strength conditioning kind of thing. They
Yeah,
gave me like 9 hours on scholarship. So
okay.
great, why not do
Mhm,
that?" And I was like, "Yeah, always been interested in doing it." Like when I was in Memphis, I didn't have time to actually work out, so like I kind of got like out of shape because I was just on the road all the time
yep,
traveling.
that's real.
Um, and kind of got into it and met some people along the way, and then it went from like the personal training, and I worked for Williamson County
Mhm,
at their rec centers and did some training out of there for a while,
mhm.
and then met some people. Berries kind of opened up, got into
It
berries.
was open
20,
2012,
yeah,
that's what I
open
thought.
2012, June 2012, I think it was.
Yeah,
There's a guy, Randy, who like invested in like
mhm.
one of the guys who wanted to open it, and so like uh, it was a different concept because there wasn't anything in Nashville at the
No, I
time.
mean, and that's again, like, 2012, like, group fitness is so
Group fitness
popular now,
was it,
but then, like, 14 years ago now
group fitness
was
back then.
not.
Most people thought Zumba.
Mhm.
Zumba was like the
Curves.
thing.
You
But
remember Curves?
curves had like yeah, because I had my grandma had her at
Mhm.
curves, and like but they would at least do like weightlifting kind of like in
Yeah.
on machines would
Yeah,
circle
yeah, yeah,
around
yeah.
like yeah. If you thought group fitness, you thought kind of curve or not curve, but you thought
Like,
Pilates, you thought
Pilates,
like a
Zumba,
Zumba thing,
that type
dance
of thing. Yep.
classes. It wasn't a lot of strength training. It might have been
Yeah.
like little step aerobic type
Yeah.
things. So like yeah, the Bears thing was just a different vibe
So what
altogether.
when you so, I mean, you were with Barry's for 14 years, 13
12,
and a
13.
half.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So what was it that drew you to that when you so like you just kind of got in the personal training world a little
Mhm.
bit. You get connected to this guy starting berries, which berries at the time went to at the time also was very different. Sorry, couldn't
Mhm.
think what I was trying to say because like it wasn't corporate like it is now. So like it
Right.
was a little different.
Yeah,
Like
it was a
you had,
franchise.
it was a
Yeah.
franchise and now they've changed their structure. So like what drew you though to that to where like you got into that to the point where you stayed for 12 years because you were
Um,
also were doing personal training on the side,
yeah, 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 yeah.
still doing all that. So like what drew you though
It
to
was
that?
I think it was just something different, and, like, the
Mhm.
personal training was great, but I think with, like, any job, you sometimes get bored doing the same thing, and
Mhm.
so it's like with personal
Well,
training, it's
so
like
with that then, you talk about, like, you get bored doing the same thing. What kept you at Barry's for 12 years? Like, what
so
about it stayed fresh enough
I will
that you
tell you,
stayed for
like, with
12
personal
years?
training, your schedule is pretty much you're usually doing things around start at 5 AM,
Mhm,
so roughly 8, 8:30. People then
mhm.
were still doing the 9 to 5. The remote thing wasn't a deal, right?
Oh, yeah, this is 12 years ago,
Yeah.
14 years
So
ago.
you had a 9 to
Yeah.
5, you might do a lunch client here or there,
Mhm.
and then you would do an evening thing. So you would start at 5
Well,
AM.
especially with the clientele that existed in Nashville then.
Yeah.
It's not like Nashville now where you've got so many take away the remote work, like,
Yeah.
it's like influencers,
No one has like
celebrities.
what
Yeah.
we call like a regular, a real job back then, like they do
Yeah.
like now. Like back then, everyone had
Now
like
it's
9
so
to 5.
flexible. Everyone then is yeah, anyway, so sorry, I
But
interrupted you,
but no,
continue.
it's in Franklin. I trained a lot of people that were like semi-retired or retired. So like I
Okay.
kind of had a little niche of people. So it's like I'd get people who were kind of part time. Like
Mhm.
you had a lot of guys in healthcare down there who would travel Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
I would usually train like the spouses or the kids, and I
Mhm.
found a I'd get like a lot of like the Franklin high school or junior high,
Yep.
like guys who like, as a guy, it's like you hit puberty at different ages.
Mhm.
And so if you couldn't make a team,
Mhm.
we were able to find like weightlifting would become your sport, strength
Mhm.
training would become your sport.
Wow, okay.
And there's so many kids down there. So you just kind of had a pipeline of
Yep.
like everyone had either they had a brother or a
Oh,
friend
for
or
sure,
something.
and
And
so
so,
s you just automatically
yeah,
start reaching more
because
people
outside of like
naturally.
football, because I don't think anyone got cut for football, but like baseball had a limited
Yep,
roster,
basketball does.
basketball,
Yep, all these
lacrosse was
sports.
kind of becoming a thing,
Mhm,
soccer
and
was
it's
kind
and
of a
that is
thing.
lacrosse is big around here now.
It's it was
I didn't know anybody that played it till I moved here,
No, because
and I
it
worked
was
with
a
kids that told
Northeast
me
thing
they
so
did.
much. Everyone
Yep.
played out, but it became like it was more clubs, and now like
Mhm.
schools actually
Schools have
started kind of doing
adapted
it.
to it, yep, mhm.
So that's where, but then it's like, okay, well, after a while you kind of get bored, and it's
Yeah.
like once summer hit, well, especially here, everyone goes to 30A. So like
Oh, and
spring break
38
for
then, God,
us
I
was
wish I
like
went to 38 back then.
it.
Anyways,
I think you appreciate it more now as you're older. So I feel like people who did
probably.
30A then they're burned out by it. They're like,
Yeah, well,
30A is
because back
30A.
then it was
It's like Franklin 2.0,
yeah,
Nashville 2.0.
right, well, but
Everyone's got a place to be.
38 in that era was not it was not populated, it was not commercialized,
Yeah.
like, because Tori grew up going down there because they had
Oh, okay.
connections to people they didn't go 38, they went to Destin, and this was, like
To me, it's kind of the same thing.
yeah,
I
like,
know it's
dude,
different,
we
but
were down there, in 2018, and we've only stayed in Destin 1 year, thank God, we've gone to 38 ever since, and it was the year Rome was a baby, and
mhm,
I remember we went down there, though, earlier in the summer with her family, and they were talking, like they had talked in the late 2000s after a
okay.
hurricane about buying a property on there because they were worth nothing, and I'm like, "Yeah, God, I wish you would have at this stage."
Yeah.
I mean, 20 years later, you look at how much it's grown up. I mean, and we were there, it's like, there's a church there, like, right in Destin. I can't remember, like, First Baptist Destin maybe or something like that.
Okay.
And all the roads around are
Okay.
like Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, or something like all named after the Gospels, which is hilarious to me. But, like, they have that whole area, though, is just insanely grown. And then 30A as well. It's just even more intense than Destin,
Well, like,
you know? But that's again, it's all of that to say though, 30A is my favorite place on planet Earth.
I know you guys love that.
I God, I adore it down there.
It's I mean, I enjoy it. I've been a handful of times, like, I like
Mhm,
it.
mhm. It is very, very popular, and it's
It's
very crowded,
that's the
and it's
thing, it's
very
small,
expensive.
it's crowded, it's not the easiest to get to.
No, which is kinda why I
It is a
love it.
long, annoying drive.
But see, it's close enough though that you can drive. That's what's annoying about it.
That's where because anything over 5 hours, I don't wanna do, I wanna fly.
It's yeah, see, I'm still at the, like,
What
6 to
was it like? Is it
7
like
hour.
7 hours roughly?
It's about 6 and a half.
Okay,
Six
yeah,
and a half to 7, give or take,
yeah,
depending on what time of day you leave, kinda how you catch it, all that. But yeah, it max is 7 hours usually going
okay,
down. So it is on the high end of anything I wanna drive.
cool.
That is about as far as I'm willing to drive.
That's fair. Yeah. That's kinda how I feel. It's
But
like,
the other side of it too, though, is it's so hard to fly there because you
you
gotta
still have to
if you're
rent a car
going
and
to
drive, what, 45
30A,
minutes?
yeah, if you're going to
Yeah.
30A, which is where most people go, you're either flying to Panama
Pensacola?
City or Pensacola.
Yeah.
Pensacola's an hour and a half drive.
Yeah, yeah.
Panama City's 45 minutes to an hour drive, and then you're dealing with traffic, and then you're dealing with rental cars, and, like, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm really not saving time. That brings up a great point.
Yeah, and you kinda need a car while you're down there.
There's so many places that you fly to that you're not saving a lick of time to fly to.
Right.
Because then you're dealing with rental cars, you're dealing with delays, you're
Mhm.
dealing with you have to get there 2 hours before. So, like,
Yep.
by the t like, there's certain like, you fly out west, you have to fly.
Yeah.
But you fly most places east, you don't have to fly.
Well,
But that is such I digress.
you're fine.
So, alright, we'll wrap up here in a few
No,
'cause
no,
we've
no,
been
I'm not.
talking for, like, 2 hours
It's great.
already.
We're having a good time.
We're having a great time.
I canceled at 5 o'clock. It's all good. I just yeah, I had a thing at 5, but we're gonna do it tomorrow, so it's fine.
That's perfect
We're
because
in no
because
rush.
we're gonna go make some sourdough pizzas when we're done with
Yes.
this. Um, so you end up at Barry's.
Mhm.
This is what I asked a second ago, I think, and I interrupted you. So, like, because you talk about personal training and how, like,
Mhm.
it's the same thing and it kinda gets monotonous, and that's what led you to Barry's,
Yeah.
but then you're at Barry's for 12
Right.
years. So, like, what about that in particular was different from the personal training, aside from, like, it's a structured class, all of that stuff is, like
Yeah.
that's what you're kinda talking about when we got on
I
the
think
30A
it's more the
conversation.
clients, like, the personal trained clients are cool. I mean,
Mhm,
and they're great because it's you almost are it's like when you have, like, you got a hairstylist,
mhm.
like, you also kinda have a therapist. Like, you get
Yeah,
so much
right.
closer with each individual person, but with a group fitness thing, you get to meet so many people, and, like, barriers was fine. The clients were great.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, and not because like, I mean, Barry's gave me a lot. Like, I
Oh,
mean,
for
Barry
sure.
J is one of the nicest human beings ever. He's such a nice guy, and to be able to
Mhm.
see like his vision and like,
And it's grown like, that as a corporation has grown into
yeah,
this
it's
gigantic
and
now.
sometimes the downside of that is like when things go corporate, it then kind of changes like the authenticity of how it used to start
Changes
and how it is,
structure and all
and
that stuff,
but
yeah.
it comes with
It's the nature of growth, yeah.
growth.
Yep.
I would say like when they transition from a franchise to corporate,
Mhm,
that's what fixed everything. Because like they're about 4 years in. I think
mhm,
a lot of people there were burned out. You
mhm.
lost a lot of trainers. The way things were ran just weren't great. It was kind of
For
going.
sure.
It started off so high.
What what year did it go from franchise to corporate? Do you remember?
I would. Oh man, let's say if it's 2012 when it started, maybe 18,
Okay,
maybe.
okay.
Give it,
That
I
yeah,
think it was
yeah,
like
that
five,
that
6
that
years
lines
somewhere
up,
around
that
there.
lines up. Yeah, okay.
Um, but it was just like it kind of like ran its course with
Mhm.
where it was how it was being done. A lot of people had like moved on.
Yeah,
They were just kind of over things. I think I was the only original trainer still left whenever the it
yeah,
was getting ready to be taken over, and I was about to leave.
yeah.
And then when we found out franchises were being sold,
Mhm,
corporate was coming in, had a talk with corporate, and it was like, "Hey, let's don't leave." Because I mean, I had told them, said, "Hey,
mhm,
I'm." They were taking all the trainers out to LA where they were going to do a
mhm.
training out there. We had some of the newer trainers like, "Hey, we're just gonna let's try something." They brought Lucas back.
Okay.
Lucas had left because he had just, I
Mhm.
think, I mean, I'm not going to speak for him, but I think he just wanted something different, like a
Yeah,
lot of us.
yeah,
And when I found out he was coming back, I was like, okay,
yeah.
because he's awesome.
Yep.
And like,
He had already moved away by the time I started coming, but, like, we've met. I
yeah,
know who he is, but
he really
he
helped.
was GM, I think, right before I started coming.
Yeah. He really helped right the ship back
Mhm,
whenever, corporate took over because
mhm.
it was I'm not gonna say it was going down, but it was going
Yeah,
down, and I was,
yeah,
like, 1 foot out the door and
yeah,
had talked to some other people about doing something separate, and, corporate's like, "Here's what we're gonna do, um, we're gonna keep you guys on,
yeah.
and what we're gonna do is kinda back pay. We're gonna pay you more and you're gonna teach less." Because
Dang.
back then, you didn't really get pay raises. It was like, "Hey, you're gonna teach more classes. We're gonna
Mhm,
give you more prime time spots so you get
mhm,
busier, so you get paid more, but we're not gonna do pay raises." Like, it
mhm.
was there was some, like, shady a lot of legal not
For
gonna say a
sure, yeah,
lot.
yeah.
There was some shady
Yeah,
there
yeah,
were
yeah,
some, like,
yeah.
unfortunate things, like, you
That
know,
you could kinda get away with that people
like
didn't realize
yeah,
differently
because back then, it's
necessarily.
like and, especially if you're taking advantage of people who didn't know the law,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
you're
yeah,
just kinda
yeah,
like,
right.
"Yeah," so it's kinda, like, shady, and so a lot of people didn't want
Mhm,
anything to do with it, and
mhm,
so but then the franchise came in, so it changed the whole atmosphere. It's like
mhm.
this gray cloud was lifted
Yeah,
and the energy changed. And
yeah,
like Lucas came back and we were bringing in new trainers, and it was just
Mhm.
like, man, there's a whole new vibe.
Yeah.
And so then you're re-energized,
Yep.
and then it just, you just some of the older clientele, like, you know what? Oh, it's
Yeah.
new owners. We're
Th
back.
things
We're
refresh
back
again,
in
yeah.
now. So it just kind of
Yeah.
it was like a change of scenery in a sense, even though it was the
Yep.
same spot. They came in, they revamped some of the style, the
Mhm.
programming, things like that. And so um and it wasn't micromanaged. Before it was just so overly micromanaged. It
Mhm.
was just like it was too much. Where here it's
Yeah.
like, here's what we do.
Yep.
We're gonna let you do your thing. Just don't mess up.
Yep.
And it was great.
So, what has like, I mean, you've lived in Nashville now for over 20 years, or right around 20 years. What's kept you in Nashville for? Because like, you're born in small town
No, the
Missouri,
people.
people,
The people.
and
It's
you are so connected in this town,
it's well, you gotta think like
which is just the nature that is Nashville. I heard someone say one time, a friend
mhm,
of mine, who honestly you've probably met, but he said, Nashville is a small town masquerading as a big city.
for sure.
And the longer you live here, the more it's true.
It is you're 1 degree of separation from everybody.
Li I was talking not too long ago to a friend of mine. It's been a few years now that I found all this out. And he casually brings up that, like, it's a country singer that everybody knows. Like, he's like, "Oh, yeah, like, I know him." To the point where, like, this person, like, reaches out to them and they talk.
Mhm.
And I'm not gonna, like, throw names out.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I just but no, all that to say, it's like Tori and I looked at each other, it's like, we're literally 1 degree of separation away from someone that everybody in the world
mhm,
you know, and it's just and that is this city, but the thing I think that's unique about that, and you've been here long enough to know this, is like, it's changed, I think, as, like, the last 6 years as more people have transplanted here,
for sure.
but, like, I think of it like, 2020, like, y people that lived here were content with celebrities.
Yeah, it
Like,
was chill. No one
no
cared.
one was
Wasn't a big
so
deal.
no, it was not a big
Well,
deal. It's
now
like you
but celebrity back then was actually, like, real celebrities, not
mm,
like, "Oh, I did a
not
reality show and now I'm a quote,
yeah,
unquote,
yeah,
celebrity." So,
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
trying to throw shade because like, but
There's no shade in that. It's just the definition of the word
right.
has shifted.
You
Whereas, like
were an actual
yeah,
actor, actual or
well,
musician or
you were
somebody.
Vince Gill.
Yeah,
You were like, I mean, and I like, when I worked at Belle Meade, like, I got to meet him,
yeah.
and I just
Such a nice guy.
dude, one of my favorite stories about him, this is hilarious, actually. This was in 20 with the summer of 16, so it was the first run the Preds had, and I don't they didn't make Stanley Cup, they made it to the
We had the
conference
semi
finals
yeah,
when they
yeah,
played
conference
San
finals. Yeah,
Jose,
yeah.
and I was walking out and, like, when I was at Belle Meade, it was Mr. Mrs., you know, like, you didn't call members by their
Yep,
first name
yep.
unless they asked you to and you knew them, and I got to know some members close enough that's like, I'm friends with them now, and, you know, I called them by their first name, but I was walking out to him, I said, Mr. Gill, how we doing?" Whatever, we're chatting, and he's like, "Did you watch the game last night?" And it was, like, game 6 or whatever that the
Mhm.
Preds won, you know, to send to game 7. I was like, "Yeah." I said, "How great was that?" He's like, "Man, I'm thinking about flying out for the game tomorrow." And I'm like, "What?" And we get to his car, and he drives like an whatever I don't know what he was driving. He was driving some old car. It's got like 4 guitars in the
Yeah,
back of his car. You know, it's just and I'm just like, I walk away and I'm like, "What in the world?"
yeah.
That, like, this guy's like, everybody knows. I just got to have a conversation with, and he's talking about flying out to and what like,
Yeah.
one of the nicest human beings you've ever met.
Such a there's a and I can't remember the name of it. There's a little, brunch spot in Green Hills, and you'd see him there all the time. Sitting there
Yeah.
hanging out, and he'd say hi to everybody. Because back
Dude,
then,
he's
like,
so nice.
I think that's why
For real.
a lot of celebrities like Nashville, because like, you just
There was an anonymity that existed for a while
yeah,
because so many people here were known.
yeah,
So it's like it was not a big deal when like, especially when for the first 5, 6 years we lived here, you'd see people out. Like, it was just the nature of the beast.
yeah. Especially, like so downtown Franklin, you'd see Keith Urban a lot. You see, like,
Mhm.
say, Kenny Chesney. I remember I see Alan Jackson a couple times at McAllister's in Cool Springs, 'cause I lived the apartments were
No
right there,
way.
and he's just this tall guy, long
Yep,
blonde hair with a baseball cap, and you're just
yep.
like,
And you're like,
"Is
"That
that?"
looks familiar, but
Yeah, and
oh,
then you
it's
see him,
just"
and then he gets in, like, a Ford GT and pulls off, you're like, "Oh, that was him," because
Mhm.
there's
Who
1
else
car like
is
that in town, yeah.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
"Wow, that was Alan Jackson."
You're so
But, like,
cool, yeah.
everyone was
Yeah,
just casually cool, and
mhm,
now it's like, as it become a tourist spot and you
yeah.
get a lot of people
Which
from
I love and hate the growth. Like, I love it from the
yeah,
standpoint of, like, the opportunity that comes with it, but it's like, I also hate some of it because how much it's changed some of the culture of the city.
Yeah.
And I say that as like, dude, I live in Jolton now. It's like I live in the country.
Honestly, though, it's like living downtown, it's well, I mean, the Gulch, so downtown's
Yeah.
Broadway, right? But, like,
Mhm.
Gulch, it's like it's it's fine, it's convenient
Yeah.
for the time being, but it's like it's not the same, and the
Yeah.
way it looks like it's going, it's just not gonna be the same as it was before. So, I mean, I appreciated what we had before and
Yeah.
how, like, close everyone was because like,
Mhm. But
2012
you
to
and
2016
and do you think though in 2005 you would have never dreamt of living in the Gulch?
no, not at
So
all.
what let me ask you this.
Mhm.
I have 2 questions and then we'll wrap up. Um, you're engaged.
Correct.
How long have you guys been engaged for? Like 6
Sep
months, right? It was like
September
end of
22nd.
last yeah, it was like it
Yeah,
was the end of the summer, last fall.
yeah,
So God, that mean that is almost 6 months ago now. 'Cause
yeah.
5, 'cause Harvey's 4 months old, so it's like
Coming up on 5, yeah.
coming up on 5. Okay, so like, do you have any desire to stay in the city? Now that's like, 'cause like I feel like once you
Man,
get engaged, you get married, you start thinking family,
yeah,
like like that shifts.
I think the shift idea right now is East Nashville.
Mhm.
'Cause I feel like I like the diversity in East, I got a lot of
Mhm.
friends in East. Most of the stuff that we do is in East,
Mhm.
um, and it's like I mean, honestly, maybe I go to a show here or there. I really,
Yeah.
I don't really go to a lot of Titans games. No offense to Titans, but like I just
Dude,
don't.
I'm excited though for the new stadium.
I am too, but
I
I'm gonna
think
go
it's
to
g
a concert before I go to a game.
one yes, yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
exactly. Or I'll
but
go to
also it's
March
like
Madness there before I go
I
to
go
a
to March
game.
Madness, but
God, I
also
can't
like
that's what I was just talking about this with someone recently, like, "I don't know why we're building a stadium." I'm like, "I'll tell you why we're building a stadium." It's 'cause
March
it's
Madness,
March
SEC
Madness,
championship. Like
um, I think they'll get March Madness, they'll get college football playoff, and they'll get a Super Bowl.
for sure.
And then on top of that, all the concerts will get. So it's like I think there's
There's
like
a
this
lot. Yeah,
whole
there's a lot of
thing.
concerts that are
There's a
scheduled for it.
ton of stuff that's coming.
Yeah,
And so it's like they're like, we didn't need a new stadium. Like, yeah, but it's the revenue that comes from all of those things.
yeah.
Like,
Because the stadium's not for the Titans.
no,
It's
they get
for
to
the
play
revenue.
there,
Yeah, they get to play there.
which is sick. And I think it's gonna
Yeah,
be cool. Like the dude, I've seen some drone footage of what
the new one looks awesome.
it looks so sick. But anyway, so it's like it I asked that though about staying downtown because I just feel like there's a shift that comes. It's like I feel like a lot of people want to live downtown and be
Yeah.
like in the buzz when they're younger. And like when before we had kids, which we were not married long before we had Roman, we never had careers downtown.
Mhm.
So like there was no reason for us to live there. But I was always like, man, it seems kind of cool to live in a high rise and
Yeah.
now it's like now I'm like now that I'm in my 30s, I've got 2 kids. I've reverted. I'm like, I go back to like small town. I'm like, it's hilarious because Tori's like,
Yeah.
she makes fun. She's like, we left West Virginia to get away from small town, and we just moved. You just literally moved us right back into
Yep.
it, and you wanted this.
It's you go through, like I feel like at this point, like, I would love a townhome vibe. I
Mhm.
wish there were more townhomes because like,
Mhm.
give me a 2-bed, 2.5 bath
Yeah.
with a little yard thing that's covered with HOA.
Yeah.
Like, I got 2 bulldogs, so it's like,
Yeah, you do.
that would be
Shout out
perfect.
Bo
There
and
you go. Bo
Jax
and Jack, shout out those
on the hat.
guys. Probably sleeping, snoring right now. But, like here, it's like, when we walked in, I saw how big that backyard was. I was like,
Yeah.
I like that idea, but I still feel like it makes more sense to stay
Yeah.
closer to
For
not
you and what you're
downtown.
doing, like, like, because 'cause you're still staying like, you still have clients, you're still in the fitness world. You're
Yeah,
no longer with berries, but you're still in the fitness world, so,
yeah,
like, that is the thing for us is, like, I don't need that. Like, Tori works at
right.
the hospital, so, like, she's there every now and then a couple days a week,
Yeah.
but dude, we're 25 minutes away, 20
Well, and
minutes
that's
away.
the thing. It's like,
That
and
is
what
one unique thing about Nashville.
that is you're close if you want it now, given depending on when you're coming to town, the traffic can
Yeah,
be
it can be
a
a
bitch,
nightmare.
but
Yeah,
I
it's
feel like
taking Rome to school some days is awful.
with the projects we're working on, we're looking at, like, being in East just makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, but I definitely like the idea of, like a Hendersonville, like,
Yeah.
that area, there's a lot of money in
Hendersonville's dope.
Hendersonville,
Yep,
everything's clean, it's nice.
yep,
To me, Hendersonville looks like what Cool Springs used to be before
for
California
sure.
took over.
Well, I'm not mad people from California and New York and all that have moved here. The only thing this is a niche opinion.
Mhm.
I don't like how it's changed I don't like how it's changed architecture in Nashville.
Okay.
I don't like how so much houses stuff has become so modern.
Yeah.
But that's niche because like no most people are not like me and love the ain't like love the old school. Like look at our house stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And
very
so
it's got that vintage
but
cool
yeah, it
vibe.
is that's what like we moved here during the boom of 15.
Mhm.
And then there was, like, the 4th boom in 2020,
Yeah.
2021 when everybody moved here because Nashville was, so much more open and stuff during the pandemic. So, we haven't talked a lot about upbringing and your life as a kid,
Mhm.
but like, if you as I mean, I know your mom got, married your stepdad when you were, like, 5, 6 years
Right.
old.
Right.
So, like, you grew up in a very religious household.
Correct.
eh,
Very.
in which again, like, we kinda started talking about this earlier, that's how we bonded,
Mhm.
it's kinda how our friendship started, was like, we're like, "Oh, we grew up in, like, the same type of world."
For sure.
And
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
so much of that that we could get into that would be such a niche conversation that I feel like, which we talk about all the time anyways, in that world of church and religion. But, like, you at now 44,
Yep,
43,
44.
if 6-year-old let's go a little older. 8 I've started asking people this when they've come on the show, and this question's kinda become similar, but, like, if 8 to 10-year-old Josh, who
Mhm.
was in the throes of, like, very strict religious, you know, rule following, you have to look, act, talk, think in a certain way, you cannot do these things. Like, if 44-year-old Josh could have a conversation with, like, preteen, early teen Josh, what would you tell yourself that, like, you think would have an impact on how you would eventually, like, what you would turn out to be?
I mean, honestly, I mean, that's a good question. I think, like, just being yourself and going with what you believe in, because like,
Mm,
I was a very, like, insecure. I mean, you're 10, 11 years
yeah,
old, like, you're insecure. Again, you don't know what you don't know, so you're brought
mhm,
up, and we weren't brought up wrong or bad or anything like that, but,
for
like,
sure.
it just I
We were brought up in a very probably close-minded, I think not narrow, I don't wanna say narrow, but
yeah,
I
not
I think
narrow.
very, like, I think the strict environments we grew up in was very close-minded to we didn't want to allow I feel like, and I'm
Mhm.
not this is not a this is not a criticization, whatever, I'm not trying to be critical of how we were brought up,
I got you.
but
It's a lot of water. You're drinking strong water.
yeah, I really have I'm struggling with this word, but
The
it's
tap
just
water in Jolton's a big deal. It's strong. It's hard.
oh, super dude, it's spiked tap water. But this is not to be critical of it, but
Yeah,
it's like, it wanted to guard us so much from anything that did not agree
yeah.
with the
You're in a
lifestyle.
bubble.
Yeah.
You were in a bubble
We
for
were dude,
sure.
I was in a bubble until I was out of high school probably.
Oh, I was in, yeah, in college. I mean, because
Yeah.
going
I
to
mean, I
ORU was the
think, like,
same way.
social media was more prevalent by when I was in high school, so, like, I
Yeah.
think the bubble was not as big, but, like, especially as
That's
an
probably our
early
biggest
child.
difference is, like, you were able
Yep.
to see outside the bubble because you had
Mhm.
social media.
Yep.
I didn't.
Yep.
And so I just always felt like I was never like the rebel and against, like, I didn't want to be like the person who was like
Mhm.
talk all the time in youth group or
Mhm.
did whatever. It was like kind of like the pain in the ass or stuck. I was like, it was fine, but it was like too, even though it went to more like a charismatic church, kind of how we
Mhm.
grew up. It's like
They were just strict though.
it was just like, it's like this seems too much. And it's like I didn't
Mhm.
want to rebel to rebel.
Yeah.
It was just like,
Do
I don't know, it
you
just seemed a little.
do you regret in any form growing up in the church world?
No, I think because so, like, with my mom and my stepdad,
Mhm.
super conservative.
Mhm.
My dad, that side of the family, um, not church people
Mhm.
at all.
Mhm.
Like, more secular lifestyle.
Mhm.
But I mean, it wasn't bad, like, that's when we talk about, like, Warrant and the hair
Yeah.
bands, like, my dad was like, he liked that's where, anywhere from, like, Black Sabbath, but then also, like, REO Speedwagon, like, Bon Jovi, but also, like, Metallica,
Yeah.
like, we like, all those, like, rock bands that were secular, my dad would like. He liked, beer and baseball. That was the
Yep.
thing where, like, my mom and them, like, "Yeah, it was baseball. There's no drinking." We couldn't
Mhm.
say heck because too close to hell.
Oh, yeah, no, that was
Like,
dude,
that was a
you couldn't say
thing.
gosh because
Too
too
close to
close to
God.
God.
You can't say God anything. Yeah, like,
No. There was
um
that is so there's not many people who understand, like, couldn't say "Geez" 'cause it was too close to
yeah.
Jesus.
And I feel like that's what I kind of like. I got both sides of the
Yep.
spectrum so far side. So like I kind of was like, let me meet,
You landed
let me
so
find
trying to
like a
find
median
somewhere
in
in
the
the
middle.
middle,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't regret doing it. I mean, it kind of helped mold me and taught me who I
Yeah.
was because like
Does is there any part of it that still impacts your life today?
yeah, for sure. Like
Yeah.
it's just having like that conscious and knowing like if you like that, especially like if like not even trying to go down like this whole rabbit hole
Mhm.
like Epstein Illuminati thing at all,
Sure.
but like I can if I didn't grow up with like in a with Christian values
Mhm.
and you see where people are like, "Oh, well, if you wanna be a celebrity and you wanna just like sacrifice to our God and
Yeah.
praise Satan or whatever, we can make you worth millions and you can
Yeah,
have this
yeah, yeah,
great
yeah.
life while you're here until you die, then you die." It's like, okay, why wouldn't you take that? But if you're like,
Yep.
if you realize like if you believe like there's a heaven and a hell, it's like, okay,
Mhm.
do I wanna burn for eternity or
Sure.
do I wanna enjoy life in heaven? It's like, yeah, I'm not giving that
Yeah.
up for what I have eternally.
A
So
and
that
that not
there
everybody grew up in that world like we
right,
did, and that's just, like when I started this podcast, like, I didn't wanna get into I didn't want it to be this Christian thing because I'm not
right.
it's like now granted, there's people that come on that like us, it's like we have these conversations because it was part of what we grew up in. Um, and, uh, and so it's just But all that to say is, like, if you not everyone understands or, like, they don't have the same perspective we do because they didn't grow up in what we grew up in, you know?
Right. And well, that's kind of how I feel. It's like, I don't know. Like, I never regret how I was brought up, like,
Yeah.
because it molds you and it helps you like
Yeah,
realize and
right.
change things. And it like,
And you don't have control over it either,
no. And that's
you
the
know?
thing. You can't be upset and bitter about how you grew up because that's just how you grew
Yeah,
up. Like at this point in time, you know enough and you can learn enough through like your phone, Google, to change if you want to change stuff.
yeah.
Like you can't blame your childhood
Mhm,
on things and be upset with your parents on how things were done when it's like
mhm.
they didn't know what they didn't know.
Yep,
You
and we were
can
talking about
change
that
things. Yeah, that's what
earlier.
we are talking about earlier. It's
I
like
and that's
quit
the thing is, like, I
holding.
don't think you need to throw the old phrase, like, "You don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater." Like,
Yeah.
I think there's a like, there's a movement to deconstruct and, what your faith and leave the church and all
Mhm.
that, and, like, we both have experienced hurt from people in the church world and
Yeah.
from people of the belief
Disappointment. Yeah.
system, disappointments, like and so it's like, I don't think you have to throw it all away, and I don't think you have to throw God out the door to
And
acknowledge
as you
that,
get older,
like,
you realize like they're also just people. They're
there's
not perfect.
humans who screw up the same way
Yeah.
we do,
It's I
you
mean,
know?
it happens. And
And I
it's
think
just
that's why,
like
like, you and I get along and agree in this conversation is, like,
because we're awesome.
well, us that too,
Okay.
but, like, we both those, like, grew up in a similar fashion, have the same, like, like, core belief set of how we were raised.
Yep.
But we also can acknowledge, like, yeah, there's some things that
Kind of open minded
happen.
about it.
Yeah, there's some things that have happened that's like, yeah, like, you know what? That doesn't represent God and who he is. And
Yeah.
it's like, there are people who are turned off to him because of how humans live. And I just, eh, and so I think that is how, like, why we can have these conversations. All right, this is my last question. We'll
Okay.
wrap with this. What's next for Josh Gamble in the fitness world?
So we are currently in the works of trying to work. We got our own little project we're working on right now.
Okay.
Um, we're trying to, um, we're in talks nailing down just a few more investors. We got
Hmm.
just a thing we're wanting to do that's going to be kind of like my fitness style and vibe. Um,
Okay.
but it's just trying to build really trying to build a community in East Nashville. Like,
Okay. Sick.
East Nashville's got some stuff going on, but, like, the
Yeah.
gym we're wanting to do, the project we're wanting to do is just different than anything that's over there.
Yeah.
But it's just getting back to the basics. Like, I feel like one thing that why I think I did well over there
Hmm.
at Berries before is, like, building the community with, like,
Yep.
friends and connecting with people. Now you're gonna be able to
Yeah.
connect
No, I
with
agree. Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not everyone vibes.
I always joked like you had a posse that followed you around. They
And
were loyal.
and I still hang out, like, talking about Pop Stroke.
Yep.
There's 14 of us going next weekend because it's
Yeah,
like
that's dope.
it's just a fun group,
Mhm.
and it's like not as a lot of people really wanna go to the bars anymore because not tourists have kinda taken them over, like, the
It's
bar scene's
different,
not
yeah.
really the thing.
Yep.
Where do you wanna go? What do you wanna do? Like, okay, there's run clubs you can do or whatever, but it's like,
Yeah.
let's all hang out and do something together, and
Yeah.
everyone wants to do the same thing. They wanna hang out,
Yep.
maybe have a few drinks, but just the community,
Yeah.
and it's such a diverse group, which is the
Yeah.
best part. So it's like, again, not getting political, but it's like people on both sides.
Yeah.
They all come together like, "You know what, and it's
You
tough this
don't
time
yeah,
because
yeah,
some
I
people,
love
like,
that.
will not be friends with someone anymore
Yeah.
because of who they voted
Because
for, what
what
they're
the yeah,
doing. But,
what their
like,
belief system
I
is
want a
and
group
that.
that's just like, "Man, let's all get together,
Yeah.
have a good time, get in a workout, feel better, but then let's do something as, like, a group."
Yeah.
There's a lot of gyms that are doing that,
Yeah.
but the style that we're gonna do is just different than everybody else, and we're just trying to make it fun. So that's the project we're working on currently.
Yeah.
But as right now, it's like, I'm doing some small groups.
Yep.
Where I live in the Gulch, we have, I taught a group today. It's like, I'm trying to keep it small and intimate. So it's like a semi personal training thing.
Yep.
So we're still doing
Not
online
yeah, it's a little
training,
more niche, a
a
little
little more
more
niche. So
close.
it's like, and
Yeah.
we've got literally, I've got a client that was 70 and a client that was 30. So it's like,
Yep.
what do you want to do on this workout? And unlike most of those group fitness things, like I'll still give you like a training program to do separately, a nutrition plan to do separately. It all just kinda like it's an all-in-one thing, but we also wanna make it, like, affordable and fun for everybody. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay,
That's sick, dude.
how do we keep the community going? How do we keep all these people still, like, wanting to some people just wanna come to like, a group fitness thing because they want someone to tell them what to do. Some
Yep.
people wanna hang out and meet people, and some people wanna have friends because like,
Mhm.
even though it's 1 degree of separation from everybody, it's kinda hard to make new
It
good
yeah, for
friends.
sure.
So it's like, I wanna get, like,
I agree.
quality people, like, anyone
Yep.
can come work out, like, just come fun and hang out, but it's like, I want the quality people, like, the good people to, like,
Mhm.
that wanna hang out and meet other people, like, let's get that group together. So that's what we're doing right now.
Dude, good for you, man.
Just trying to
Well,
make you proud.
You're insane. Man, no, there's so many other things that I feel like we could get into.
We can do a second episode.
We do need to do a second episode. This is that's my
I feel like we
toxic
just
trait
scratched the surface on half the stuff we talked about
in
that we
life.
planned on, like, talking about. Yeah.
100%. That's just like that is my downfall on the podcast. But I don't wanna get into all that because I wanna have a second episode.
Yeah, for sure.
So if
You
we
gotta
talk
tease the next
about
one.
it all now,
Yeah. You gotta tease it for
your
the next one.
fiance's in the room and is laughing every time that I
She's like, "Oh
have
my god, I
fumbled
gotta
over
come
one.
back again?"
Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
"Mm."
She's like, "I hear about this guy all the time. He doesn't shut up at home. Now he's gotta listen to him on the podcast."
And not only that, she'll listen to me too. It's like I think that's why Tori
But
doesn't
you got a
come on the
soothing
pod.
voice. It's probably like Tori probably doesn't mind hearing me. She probably doesn't mind hearing your voice.
Yeah,
It's a new voice.
I just annoy her and piss her off like most of the time. She's an angel
Same,
until
yeah. I
she
feel like,
gets
yeah, see,
until
that's
she
I
gets
think we're in the
sassy.
same boat with that.
Until she gets sassy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But man,
But she's still great.
yeah, she is an angel, but boy, can she be sassy. I just
She wants to keep you on your toes. She wants to keep you on
this
your
is but
toes.
she's so sick of listening to me is probably why she hasn't been on the podcast yet. Everyone's like, Tori, you are not gonna do an episode. No. I'm
You
gonna
know what we should do on episode 3? I'm gonna sit in the middle and I'm gonna, like, mediate between you 2. Like, "So tell me about Jake."
Oh, bro. I do wanna do like a couples episode sometime with her and like I don't know who the other couple will be yet. And do
Can I
like
sit in the back and just, like, mix drinks? Like, it can be, like, mocktails.
do you know how sick it would Yes. You know how sick it would be though for you to actually be back here, like to have a bartender in an episode?
Like, I'm gonna sit there and, like, throw the
No,
shaker,
like
try to
for
catch
real.
it. I'll do it.
That would be so dude. I mean,
I'll wear,
I
like,
have a full bar for a
I'll
reason.
wear, like, a whatever apron. I have the cool outfit.
Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna actually do that sometime.
Yeah,
Well,
100%.
Josh, bro, thank you so much for
Appreciate it,
coming
man.
on,
Oh,
man.
thank you.
It means the world.
Hey,
So
anything you
if
need.
you live in Nashville or if not, Josh Gamble Fitness on
Cash Gamble
Instagram,
Fitness on Instagram.
follow him and make sure to check out his up and coming fitness stuff. Josh,
Yeah.
I love you, brother. Thanks so much,
Awesome,
man.
dude. You're the best, man. Appreciate you.
Well, that was my conversation with my friend Josh Gamble. Hope you enjoyed hearing us. I feel like maybe more than ever we went on random tangents, which happens when we're together. And also, as you know, if you listen to this podcast, happens when I talk in general. My ADD kicks in, and I just kind of go all over the map. But I hope you enjoyed our conversation. As always, make sure to like and follow the podcast on social media, and as well as subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts so that you don't miss an episode and we will be able to keep bringing you great episodes. So hope you enjoyed this one. We will see you back next week for our next episode of Deepish.